Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome back to another character video. I know we were just getting back in the groove of the Archon quests, but we're still moving forward, I promise. Yelan is going to be a very fun character to do this on. I was very curious about her in the last Archon quest we did. She seems to have a lot of mystery to her, so this should be very, very exciting. Plus, she just looks super cool. So, we have our table of contents. First up is story, demos and trailers, lore and voice lines, theories, and last but definitely not least is the character log, which is where I talk about my personal thoughts on the character, like my emotional investment in them, and also sometimes objective thoughts on who they are and their arcs and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Oh.
お、これはまた珍しい客だ。歓迎するよ。
This guy. We've met this guy a couple times.
下にいる店長に新しく届いた茶を入れてくるよう頼んでくれ。
This is like the kindly
聞い
grandpa.
たところによると、お前さんたちはいろんな場所に行ってるらしいな。わし
Aww.
もお前さんたちの冒険談をぜひ聞いてみたいよ。もう慶心から聞いているようだな。だが心配するな。
The years.
体は大したことないんだ。
Oh.
歳月人を待たずと言ってな。ただの年を重ねるにつれ、いろんなことが思うようにこなせなくなってな。ここ最近は
No.
気力もめっきり減ってしまった。
No, no, no.
皆はわしを高く評価してくれているが、ボケないうちに天数の座を次に譲ろうと考えてる。
No.
天数の座を譲るのって面倒なんじゃないのか？
リーユエ七世の中でも天数は比較的特殊な存在なんだ。
Maybe it isn't passed
歴
down
代
by
の天
blood.
数は
Maybe it's
ほ
like
とんど
a.
公には出ず、その多くは
Like
背後で
elected?
策を考える裏方だった。それに候補者ができるだけ各方面や勢力からの影響を受けないようにしたり、
Oh, okay.
だから審査や任命は比較的内密に行われるんだ。
So not publicly elected
そ
then.
んなわけで一般的に天数の公認というのは
Oh, okay.
前任天数の意見と残りの七星による承認によって決まるんだ。
つまり天王寺が候補者を推薦して国政や行幸たち七星が任命するってことか？
そうだ。だが今のわしの体調を考えると、まあ心配する必要はない。このために能力の秀でた視察官を特別に
Oh,
連れ
there
てきた。
she is. Oh, so she's
そういえ
gonna
ば
judge this
お前さんた
person.
ちもすでに彼女に会ったそうだな。
Hmm.
誰のことだ？
あら、ひどいわね。この間会ったばかりなのに、もう私のことを忘れちゃったのかしら。
Oh, she knows him? Oh, well, most likely. I wonder what the relationship is.
そうよ。天王寺に頼まれて、私が3名の候補者を調査することになった
Wouldn't
の。
Yelan, wouldn't she be a good
君も
candidate?
一緒に来ない？次の天数と事前に知り合え
Should
る。
just hire
また
her.
となってる
Alright.
お前はどう思う？
I guess it's a good opportunity.
おいらもそう思うぜ。七星といい関係を築く
Yeah.
のって悪くないことだよな。
We're close with the
Yeah,
Archon,
so
might as
they
well. Get closer to the
そういえば
governing body,
あ
right?
なたは普段光の当たらない裏で策を企てるのが好きみたいだけど、私も闇の中での行動には慣れてる
Oh,
わ。
okay, there she is.
私も
Volunteering herself.
もう天数になりたいのか？
Why not? She'd be good at it.
わしは構わんが、お前さんは行幸とも長い付き合いだろう。
Oh.
彼女がお前さんを簡単に手放すとは思えんな。
Hmm.
ではこうしよう。もし視察の結果、資格のある者が誰もいなければ、
A last
お前さん
resort.
を推薦しよ
These other candidates must be like
まあこのことは
cream
別
of
に
the
急ぐ必要
crop.
はないものね。
if Yelan is the last
視
resort.
察についてはすでに手配してあるわ。 後で1階で会いましょう。それまで君たちは話の続きでもしてて。それから代金はいらないわ。頑丈茶室の新た
Oh,
な
the
主とし
owner.
て質のいいお茶ぐらいはご馳走させて。
Fire the lady downstairs. She was rude as fuck. Remember when we spoke to her that one time? We were talking to the NPC in the tea house, and she was like so rude for no reason. Fire that lady.
天王寺元気なさそうでずっとうとうとしてたぞ。
ええ、こんなことを言うのは気の毒かもしれないけれど、今の天落ちの精神状
Well,
態じゃ
he deserves leisure time and rest and
天落ちの推
peace.
薦した候補者は全部で3名。官位、明白、地位よ。
Okay.
官位は豪商の生まれよ。明白はリーウェ総務士に勤めていて、最後の地位は学を求めて旅をしているわ。なんとなく覚えておいて。まあ忘れてしまっても大丈夫なんだけどね。
Okay.
明白、それから地位。どうにか覚えたけど。
その話は月海亭についてからにしましょう。
Okay.
気合を入れておいて。これは七星交代という一大事。どんな些細なことも見逃すことはできないわ。
Yes, ma'am.
わかった。ちゃんと目をかっぴらいていくぜ。
These candidates better be like insane individuals of accomplishment if Yelan is the last pick. If these, like, because he was like, well, if the other candidates fall through, then I guess I can offer you the job. Unless that is within itself a test. I don't know. Could be test inception. A test within a test.
立ちっぱなしで足がしびれてきた。まったくあの視察官は何を考えてるんだ。
Oh
こ
god.
んな
Nope.
大事な場に椅子すら用意してないなんて。
This guy's already annexed. Nope. Don't like him.
いろんなやつと接してきたが、立ったまま待たされるなんてこれが
Get
初めて。
over yourself. What the fuck? If Zhongli, the fucking Archon, like strongest Archon of the fucking whole of Teapot, isn't as egotistical as you can sit down is what you can do.
それはあんたがそういう扱いに慣れてしまったからだ。いつもそんな風に現状を受け入れてると、この先何も変えられなくなる
Oh
ぞ。
my god.
お前というやつはどうしてそう理不尽なことを言うんだ。
Yeah. What an egotistical narcissist. I dislike him
まあ
greatly.
こんな些細なことで争うなんて割に合いませんよ。隊
Okay.
員さん、確かに言い過ぎですよ。明白さんもあまり気にしないで。こんなに長く立ちっぱなしで待たされたら、誰だって少しは苛
Oh,
立ちを
this
覚え
guy
るもので
is
す。
this guy is being referee. This is potential. Okay.
別に立って待たなければならないという決まりはないんだし、いっそのこと、近くの紹
He's a
介から
problem
椅子を借りてくるのは
solver.
どうで
He's
し
a
ょう。
problem solver. That's good. Okay, so far he's my favorite. Just out of plain first
それ
impressions
も
from
いいかも
this.
な。あそこの椅子の材質はあんまり良くないが、使えるだけマシだ。
Bro is way too full of himself.
どうやら候補者たちはすでに3人とも揃っているようね。
Okay. Don't know how they are better than
すぐ
Yelan
に彼
though.
らと正式に会うことになる。でもその前に、まずは今回の視察の流れを君に説明するわ。
Okay.
視察は大きく2つに分けられる。知事謀略と現場問答よ。前者では彼らにリーユへの発展計画を提出してもらう。後者は私たちが直接面と向かって彼らに質問をするってことよ。リーユへの発展計画を書くのには時間がかかるだろうから、あらかじめ彼らに言っておいたわ。
Okay.
これが彼らの提出してきた
Whoa,
報告書よ。
someone on the right did like a whole did extra. They wrote double.
うわ、一冊だけ分厚いのが
Not
あ
me
る
being in sync
ぞ。
with Paimon. I hate when that
ついでに
happens.
言うと彼らには一つ要求をしてあるわ。誰が天数になろうと自分が立てた計画内容はよほどのことがない限り計画書の内容を変更することは許されない。だから今ここにある3つの書類
Wow.
は
Okay.
彼ら3人の立場を表しているのよ。 まだちょっと時間があるから目を通しておいて。私はここで待ってるから読み終わったら言ってちょうだい。
Oh, we gotta read it? Okay. I had to switch to Ning. I just had to. Wait, should we get some pictures? We have to get some pictures. Coworker boss ladies. Okay. Oh, okay. Just wanted to see if she had some extra dialogue before we went to read them. Alright, let's walk dramatically around. Can we sit and read them? We can. Awesome. Alright. Oh, we stand anyway. Okay, and it covers domestic affairs quite comprehensively, focusing on livelihood. Okay, we like that. We like that. Core principle seems to be greater good means a world that works for everyone. Okay. I like that one. I like that one. Okay. Addresses many commercial issues and provides some very penetrating analyses. Regulations and incentives are both indispensable. All right. Not as much of a fan of that one. We like to see stuff about the people. Domestic affairs, foreign affairs, and checks and balances. Oh, okay. The focus seems to be problem solving. This is also a good contender. It's so thick that you only have time to skim through it roughly. Okay, I like the first one in this guys. I like when public officers and people in positions of power focus their ability on the people. But problem solving is important as well.
当然よ。点数の選考に関わることだから、みんな全力を出し切っているの。
True.
何より、ひとたび着任すれば、その計画に従って業務を執り行うことになるから、悔いは残したくないはず。
Yes, what do you think? Who's your pick?
まだ秘密。
Oh.
現場問答が終わってから、じっくり話し合いましょう。
Okay, fine.
もう候補者を連れてきていいわよ。一人ずつ。まずは簡易からね。
Okay.
かしこまりました。
I don't think, yeah, this is the guy I don't
あん
like.
たら二人が今回の視察官か。
That's how you're
こ
opening
れ
the
ほど重要
conversation.
なことは行幸様が直々に視察するだろうとは思っていたが、まさか俺の知らない顔が来るとはな。
Well, you don't know our faces because you're not high enough up to know
俺の
them.
計画書はもう読んだんだろ。何か理解できないところがあったら俺に聞くといい。
Whoa, what a way to open a conversation. What's his angle here? Belittling the
悪いな。
the evaluators?
別に意図
What's
があ
that
ってのことじゃ
strategy?
ない。ただ事実を述べているだけだ。
How is he supposed to be a leader if he can't communicate with people? Did you learn from Cloud Retainer? Even she isn't this prickly. Or at least you know it's not coming from a shitty place.
その仙人を知ってるのか。そうか、思い出したぞ。
Well, I'm glad your memory is
名のある
jogged.
奴ならそれなりに才能もあるんだろう。もしかしたら俺の構想を理解できるかもな。
Okay, bro.
ま、あまり期待はしていないが。
Like, if you were thinking not even like personal insult, but how is he gonna lead a group of people if he just talks down to everybody?
ええ。
Okay, this guy was the one he talked about the people. His
俺は
goals were the
メイ
people.
博総務士に所属している。
Okay.
総務士で仕事をした時間は9年と 5ヶ月3日になる。これまで2347件の案件を取り扱ってきた。
Wow.
まだ12件が処理途中で、
9 years. Holy shit.
およそ16日後に全て解決する予定だ。現在は都市計画に関わる仕事をしながら勘定明細の受け取りと検査をしている。勘定は3つの部分に分けられていて、それぞれ
なんかたまに言葉がつっかえてるのは
Shut the
おいらの
fuck
気のせい
up.
か？
He's still talking.
自己紹介はそこまででいいわ。直接質問するわね。
すまない。
Oh. Forces her way. Okay, this is the problem solver.
こんにちは。正直、本当に緊張しています。
Okay, he's
お
opening
二
up
方はど
on
ん
a
なことがお聞
sincere
きにな
note.
りたいのでしょうか。視察ということですから、できる範囲で全てお答えいたします。
Okay.
君の計画書は様々な分野に言及しているけれど、君自身はそれほど多くの事業をやったことがないみたいね。
It's a good question, though.
そのような疑問を抱かれるのもごもっともだと思います。ですが計画に関しては自信があります。私はかつて数多くの場所を視察してきました。現地の専門的な方とも交流を行い、結論を導き出したのです。
Okay.
もちろん異なる問題が複雑に入り混じればそれぞれの結論も衝突する。ですので私が求めたのは均衡、つまり全ての問題の中から最適解を見つけることです。
I feel like that's good, right? Wanting
じゃあ
balance.
その導き出した答えが本当に最適解かどうかはどうやって判断するつもり？
計画を実行する前は同僚や月海艇の秘書たちが評価をしてくれるでしょう。計画を実行した後は最終的にどうなったかがそのまま結果となります。私の判断が間違っていた場合は相応の責任を取るつもりです。
悪くない答えね。では次の質問に行きましょう。
Okay, so
なんか
I think
付き合いやすそうなやつだったな。話もよくまとまってたし、すごく聞きやすかったぞ。
これで簡単なまとめができそうね。
I still voting for
君
Yelan.
も見た通り、簡易は見識が広く、計画書に書かれた案も的を射ているものが多い。でも、とても傲慢で頑固な性格。
Yeah, he'd make a
周りの
shitty
人の気持
leader.
ちは考えそうにないわね。明白の計画はより包括的で安定していたわ。でも彼は簡易とは全くの真逆ね。口下手で人との交流においては弱い。
のう、確かにその通りだったな。さすがイエラン。
最後はチー。彼の計画は非常に詳細で確実な方策もある。これほど幅広い分野に心を配れる人は
He's
なかな
almost
かい
the
ないわ。
last guy's almost too good
こ
to
れ
be
は
true.
表面的に取り繕われたようなものじゃない。よほど力を注がないとできないことよ。それに謙虚で穏やかだから人付き合いの方も問題はなさそうね。でも
True.
私が特に興味深いと思ったのは彼の意見の多くが天王寺と同じだったことよ。
Okay.
もし地位が着任すれば天王寺も安心できそうね。
やった
さあ行きましょう。戻って天王寺にこれを伝えるわよ。
I wonder if this guy is as good as he seems.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Oh. Do you want some water or
だい
some
たい
tea
わしの
for
予
your
想した
throat?
通りだったか。
Poor man.
担当直入に聞くわ。地位の計画における考えが天王寺ととても似ていたことには何か理由があるのかしら？
Oh yeah, does he know him?
お前さんたちに候補者の名簿を渡した時、実は
お
言ってなかったことがある。あの3人はかつてわしのもとで学んだことがある者たちなんだ。わしにだが官位は商業で忙しくしておったし、明白も総務士でやるべき仕事があった。あの2人と比べると地位は最も長い間わしのそばにいたんだ。
We can tell.
へえ、そうだったのか。天王
官位はある旧友からの推薦で、明白には仕事をしておった時に目をつけた。最初は釣り友として偶然知り合ったんだが、それ地位は貧しい家の出身でな。
Oh.
両親も早くに亡くしている。あいつを見て若い頃の自分を思い出したんだ。釣りについてもちょっとした助言をしただけですぐ理
Yeah.
解していたな。
Sounds like you raised him.
ああ、気づかないうちにこんな高みまで成長してくれた。若者が成長していく中、わし
Aww.
は老いてしまった。時間は過ぎるのが早すぎる。 やはり生老病死は誰にとっても避けられないものなんだな。
Aww.
あら、天王寺はまだまだ元気だし、あと何年か仕事できると思うけれど。
She's trying to cheer him up. That's sweet.
お前さんはまったく慰めてくれんでもいい。気力が足りなくなったのもそう悪いことじゃない。
Yes,
肩
exactly.
の荷を下ろせれ
You
ば
sound like you deserve
た
it
だのじいさんの
after
よ
a
うに
long
自由に
life
釣
of
りに行けるんだ
service.
からな。
天王寺は釣りが好きなんだな。
暇つぶしがしたいときは釣りが一番さ。釣ったばかりの魚はすごく新鮮で、
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds actually really good right now. Low key
それにちょっ
hungry.
と前チーもベテランの漁夫から特別なレシピを購入したらしくてな。近頃は釣りに行くといつもチーが下処理を済ませた副材料を持ってきてくれるんだ。
Extra
何度も味わ
ingredients.
いたい美味しさだが、この老いぼれじゃ
Aww.
あと
次はオイラも連れてってくれよ。
Paimon inviting herself?
話を戻すけど、天王寺、報告を聞いて結論は出たのかしら。
お前さんに視察を任せたからにはお前さんの判断を信じよう。もし地位とわしの考え方の類似についてお前さんたちが聞いてこなければ、
Oh, it was a little bit of a
わし
test,
も
huh?
3人との関係について言及するつもりはなかったんだ。先行は公平を期すべきもの。このような外的要素は全て無視し、候補者の才能や能力を徹底的に調査した上で、くれぐれも徹底的な調査を忘れずにな。
わか
We
った。
must.
行きましょう。場所を変えて話したいことがある。
Okay.
天王寺、オイラたちは先に
Get
行くな。
inside. It's probably chilly out
体に気をつけ
now
ろ
that
よ。
it's nighttime. Get yourself a shawl or something. I like that they don't discriminate against like people who come from less fortunate, I should say, not lesser, less fortunate financial situations. Like he was willing to
急がなくてもいいわ。視察に時間制限はないわ。
take him under his wing, even though he was like an orphan and he had like no
もしかしてまだ何
money
か
to
テ
his
スト
name.
があるのか。
I like that.
それはないわ。彼ら本人に対する視察は終了した。でも、一つ君たちに教えておいてあげるわ。
Oh, here we go. What's
情
the
報に
tea?
関する仕事で最も禁忌なのが、当事者からしか情報を得ないことよ。真実の外側には常に霧がかかっている。文燕、翔歌。
Oh.
Huh.
What the fuck? Not them pulling an Ayato and having like like secret ninjas or secret service show up. What? Where did they even come from? Like, and they literally have like matching fur coats and stuff to hers. That's so funny.
驚かせちゃったかしら。この二人は
Yeah,
私の
we
部下、
gathered that.
文燕と翔歌よ。腕利きの女子として
Dang, she has her
普段は
own
近くに目を配らせてるの。
ninja
こう
squad.
して必要
Alright.
に応じて各
They
種
even
任務に
have
ついて
look
もら
at
った
they
わ
have fur here as well to match hers, and they have like dice on
翔
their
歌は商
backs.
業に精通していて交渉で情報を得ている。
Business expert.
文燕はよく演説から情報を得ているわ。この場にはいないけど、二人以外にもう一人、ブハイって部下もいるわよ。
あ
Okay.
のデカブツ、会場で長いこと任務をやってるみたいだが大丈夫なのか。あいつは泳げなかったと思うが。
Can't swim.
あいつは運がいいからあれ式の波どうってことないさ。
翔歌、各紹介に赴いて会
Oh,
の
so
背
we're
景事情
doing
を調べ
deep
てくれるか
background
しら。
check on the candidate.
文燕、君はリーユエ総務士へ行って明
Oh,
白
all
な
of
仕
them.
事記録を調査してきて。
地位はいいの
Are we
か。
doing that ourselves?
地位？もちろん彼は最も有力な候補者とし
Yep,
て、
figured.
まずは不当に行きましょう。あそこは人も多いし、いろんな情報が行き交う場所よ。
情報って言えば万有商法の舶来に聞いてみれ
No,
ば
we shouldn't talk to him. I hate that
あい
guy.
つはいつも北不当で商売をしてるから。
なるほど、悪くないわね。彼に聞いてみましょう。
I will forever hold a grudge against that guy. I will never forgive him for calling us Zhongli's servant to our face. Like, oh, sorry, ma'am. Oh God, I didn't mean to scare you. Sorry.
あれ、どうして舶来がこんなところに？
Oh. Is he involved in shady business? Motherfucker.
おいおい、その値段じゃあまりにも高すぎるだろう。こんなに高い仕入れ値でどうやって売れているんだ。
Overcharge this guy. Always overcharge, Bolai.
そう言わないでくださいよ旦那。この夕暮れの実は最も上質なものなんですから。以前間違えて一つ井戸に落としてしまったんですが、その井戸の水が全部甘くなったぐらいなんですよ。
だとしてもだな。
まあまあ旦那、実はもう一つ秘密があるんですよ。英発商店の店主もうちの品を仕入れようとしたんです。でももし旦那がいらないって言うんでしたら仕方ありません。向こうと商売するしかないですね。
Okay.
わかった。そういうことならその値段で仕入れよう。あるだけ全部だ。英発商店には一つも残すなよ。
Yeah, overcharge him. Clean his pockets out.
と言っておくが、この夕暮れの実には
Fuck
私が
off.
先に目をつけたんだ。横入りはさせないぞ。
実はオイラたち、チーのことについて聞きに来たんだ。あいつのことを
Maybe
知っ
Yelan
て
should
る
lead this
か？
conversation since he doesn't respect us.
かなり評判のいい人物だぞ。彼に関する話を聞いたことがある。貧しい家の出身なんだが、両親を早くに亡くして周りの人から冷たい目で見られていたそうだ。昔は隣人からよく悪口を言われていたそうだが、地位は報復するどころか、その後破産した隣人の面倒を見てやっていたらしい。遺直法縁、貧困法制。どうして今までこういう人物に出会えなかったのかと思わせるような逸材だ。いや、今
なんだかいいやつみたいだな。
It sounded like he was
こんなことを聞いてどう
reciting
するんだ。
scripted lines.
そうか。ならば高い値を払った者勝ちということで。
どこだ？
確かに地位ね。見た感じ林郎と話をしているようだけど、話を聞いてみましょう。いい？彼に気づかれないように注意
This
して。
better not be a trailing
こう
mission.
いう情報。
私は先に雇用契約書を取りに戻るっておい。抜け駆けはなしだ
Bye,
ぞ。
bitch.
おい。
It was not a pleasure talking to you. Oh God, is this a?
分かったわ。歩きながら話しましょう。
How many tries do you think this is gonna take me, guys? We all know how good I am at these. The stealth in this game is just
小さんは
non-existent.
月を一式買いたいのね。
そんな
Okay.
に急いでどうするの？これじゃ見つかるわよ。
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side
Because
eye.
we're not stealthy at all. We're in bright colored clothing with a floating fairy fuck on our shoulder. How inconspicuous could we be in the middle of the day in a
彼
market?
に気づかれないように。
Yes. Maybe one of your ninjas should be doing this.
歩きながら話しましょう。
Imagine seeing this, like, someone crouching through a marketplace. Okay, we'll stay here.
月を一式買いたいのね。お互い商売人同士だもの。ちいさんもうちの店をよく知っているはずよね。
Too far away? I'm not.
実は私には普段からお酒を飲むのが好きな旧友がいるんです。彼は風流を好むのですが、見栄を張って贅沢はしたくない。ですので良質な模造品の手記を買って彼を招待したいのです。
ちいさんは優しいのね。わかったわ。私に任せてちょうだい。
So he's like
時
buying
間がある
something?
時に飛行機まで品を受け取りに来て。
Okay.
ありがとうございます、林郎さん。
いいえ。これだけ評判が良くて友達思いだなんて
Hmm.
得難い人ね。 私も店に帰ってからきちんと選ぶから安心して。
Okay. We got through the conversation. Okay, good. We did it. We only need to do it twice.
なんかチーって誰とでも打ち解けられるみたいだな。これでイェランも安心しただろ。他の人の目にもチーはいいやつに映ってるんだ。
Is it just pessimistic of me? But I feel like it's all so perfect.
彼が普段釣りをしている埠頭に行ってみましょう。
まだやるのか。
I mean, politicians tend to cover their tracks
チーに問題があることをどうしても証明したいとかじゃないよね。
when they're trying to
さあね。
get positions of
も
power.
し私が天数になったら、君たちを特別扱いしてもいいわよ。ただでいろんな
I'll
美
look
食
out
を
for
食
you
べ
guys.
させてあ
I
げる。
want, yeah, I want you to be the
どうかしら？
the person in charge, not anyone else. But I feel like politicians always make sure their communities have good opinions of them. You know what I mean? Or like, what would be the point?
埠頭は相変わらず賑やかね。
Well, it is one of the busiest ports in Teapot,
こ
right?
こで釣りをしている人は釣った魚を近くの魚屋に売ることもあるそうよ。孫さんに聞いてみましょう。
いらっしゃいませ。今日はどんなものをお探しで？
Bye. We'll start out sincere.
私たちはリーユエ町友会の一員です。
Oh, we're going this
お聞き
angle?
してもいいですか？
Okay. Yeah, sure, we look like fishermen. We definitely look like we fish a lot, like for sure. This is a good cover. I'm glad you thought of
小さんとい
this.
う方がとても釣りがお上手だとお聞きしたのですが、彼について何か知っていることはないですか？
She changed the cadence of her voice a little bit.
イランって
Wow.
身分を
Shut the hell up!
こんなに平然としてるんだね。
He's right in front of us, bro.
ああ、チーね。この辺りでもすごく有名ですぜ。各地を旅している友人から聞いた話では、よその町にまで流し入れてるとかなんとか。聞けば子供の頃は非常に苦労したようで、いくつも仕事を掛け持ちしてたそうですぜ。まあ苦中の苦を受けざれば人の上の人たることかたしと言いやすからね。
オイラたちと同じ考えだな。
けど町友会への勧誘でしたら無駄。
それはどうして？
あいつは何でもできやすが、釣りだけはいまいちなんでさ。収穫量も実に普通で、良くも悪くもないといったところですか。
素敵ですね。でも今はまだ他の用事があるので、今度お茶でもご一緒しませんか？
わかりやした。またお越しください。
よ
So
その町にまで知られているね。さあ他の場所でも聞いてみましょうか。
So I guess like the regular citizens of Liyue don't recognize Yelan, which means that she's very secretive, I guess. Like she's not a public face, is what I
魚
mean.
はいるかい。1匹300モラ、3匹1000モラだよ。どれも貴重なもの。もう残り少ないよ。
こんにちは。私たちは許可調査会のものなのですが、一つ伺ってもよろしいでしょうか？
わあ、また身分を変えた
Yeah.
ぞ。
Shh.
許可調査会。
ご安心を。我々はただ簡単な調査をしたいだけですので。近頃チーと
She
いう
changed
方
her
が
voice slightly
この
again.
近くで鮮魚を低価格で売っているとお聞きしました。
はあ、俺のことじゃないのか。定価で鮮魚を売る件については俺も聞いたことがない。
どうしてだ？
あいつは貧乏なんだ。両親を早くに亡くしたんだが、酒狂いの父親が生前に多額の借金をしてたらしくてな。あいつが埠頭に来たのはまだ幼い頃だったな。天王寺に拾われてやっと生き延びることができたんだ。だが今も貯金はあまりないみたいだな。腹を空かせるとまではいかないが、たった数モラのために値引き交渉してるのをよく見るよ。だからあいつが魚を売るのも俺はおかしなこととは思わない。まあどうせ大した数の魚じゃないし、 こっちの商売の邪魔にはなるまい。
知られたくないのですか？
あ、何度か少し話をしたことがあるんだが、あいつは他人からどう見られてるのかすごく気にするやつなんだ。
Well, all politicians care about how they're perceived.
だが俺には何か言ってやる資格もないからな。あいつはすでにほとんどの人間より優秀な存在さ。完璧な人間なんてこの世にはいない。あいつがそのせいで不幸にならないことを祈るよ。
Well, it wasn't his fault that he was born to the parents he was born to.
いいってことよ。
It's not his fault his father was a deadbeat dad.
何回も言うと逆に嘘くさくなるぞ。
あまりお金を持っていないね。他の人にも情報を聞いてみましょうか。
I mean, I think coming from a different background without, you know, with no wealth isn't a bad thing. You would think he would know more about how the common people function.
なんて言うんだっけ。そうだ。また会えて光栄だ。
Why does this child have white
俺
hair?
様に何か用か？
実を言うと、私たちはこの業界に入ったばかりなんだけどね。ロッコ様が情報通って聞いて訪ねに来たの。
本当か？その俺様を情報通と褒める者がいるのか？
もちろん。ロッコ様は心優しい方で何でも答えてくださるとも聞いてるわ。
Oh my gosh.
やった。何が聞きたいんだ？この町のことなら俺様は何でも知ってるぜ。
子供まで騙すのかよ。
It made his day.
しますが、ロッコ様はチーという方をご存知ですか？
もちろんさ。最近大人たちがいつも話してるチーニーのことだろ。チーニーのことならたくさん聞いたことがあるぜ。例えばもうほとんど大した内容じゃない。やっぱり俺様は剣の光と影が交わる驚愕の話の方が好きだぜ。
その点については私も同感です。ではドッコ様はいつ頃から大人たちがチーさんについて話をするようになったのか覚えてるかな？
Smart question.
それなら覚えてるぜ。だいたい 2,3 ヶ月くらい前だな。前はみんなチーニーについて話すとき、俺様が不愉快に思うような口調だったんだ。だけど 2,3 ヶ月前からチーニーに好感を持つ人がたくさん現れ始めた。
Sounds like self-promotion
俺
to
様に
me.
飴をくれたこともあるし、みんながチーニーをよく言うのは俺様も嬉しいぜ。
Wow, he even gives this kid candy.
やっぱりなんだ？
やっぱりドッコ様は噂通り心優しい方だと言ったのです。
それほどでもねえって。そういえば知らない顔もたくさんいたぜ。よく街中でチーニーのことについて話してた。きっといいやつらだよな。よかった。今度会ったら挨拶でもしてくるか。
そうですね。もしよろしければ彼らの居場所を頑丈茶室にいる私の友人まで伝えてくれる？
She's gonna send this kid to liaison with her Secret Service dudes.
じゃ、また会おうね。
またな。
Alright, so he's got people spreading good word
今
about
の
him.
話の問題点分かったかしら？
問題点？一体何が問題なんだ？地位の名声が高いって話だろ？
I don't know if it's insidious or not
言
though.
ってたし、どこ作も地位が好きみたいだった。
そうね。
It's not really out of place for
でも問題
politicians
は
to do this.
この突然の名声がちょっと高すぎるところよ。
突然？高すぎる？
I mean, if they're all lies, then that's one
どうい
thing.
うことだ？
異直放煙、官区奮闘。確かに町で評判になるほどのことだわ。だけど孫が言うにはよその町の友人も耳にしていた。それはいくらなんでも大げさすぎるわ。そしてそれらについてドッコ作が言っていたことを覚えてる？関心はするけれど大して興味はない。何よりこういった彼の評判は この 2,3 ヶ月で一気に現れたもの。
He's been
彼の
prepping.
幼い頃の話や学問を求めた話、それに隣人との話。
そう言われると確かにちょっとおかしいな。
もちろんそれだけなら私も別に手を出す気はないわ。貧しい家に生まれた地位がお金を払って自分の活躍を
Yeah,
宣
that's
伝す
what I
る
was
のは
thinking as well.
私からすればゲームの規則の範囲内だと思う
So
わ。
what's concerning you if it's
で
not
も問
that?
題がある。さっきコウが言ってた彼の話を聞いたでしょ。彼はずっと生活に困っていて、収入は
Oh,
すべて学費や旅、借金を返すことに使っていた。そんな
someone's
彼が
helping him.
大金を出せるとは思えない。そう、それなら事情も変わってくるわ。もしかしたら
Oh.
隠れた勢力がこの木を狙ってリー
I'm
ユ
gonna
の
make
子
a
孫に手を
wild
出そうとし
guess.
ている
The
のかも。
Fatui.
これは最悪
They're
の
behind
推測だけど、
everything.
推測はひどければひどいほど真実に
Turns
近いっ
out to
て
be
こ
the
とがよ
closest
く
to
あ
the
るのよ。
truth.
知性に手を出すって今地位に聞いたって絶対に認めないよな。
まずは彼を手伝っているのが誰なのかを突き止める。視察過程にあ
I
っ
can
た
tell you, it's probably
知
the
事法略
Fatui.
を覚えてる？あれに書かれた計画は着任後に実現させるべきもので、彼らの立場を示している。
Especially since their
地位を裏で
influence
手伝ってい
spearheaded
る
by
者は
Child didn't go
彼
very
の
well.
着任によって利益を得ようとしている。
They're probably trying to look for
だ
a
っ
way
たら
back
地位の
in.
計画の中に頑丈茶室へ行きましょう。
And this sounds exactly like something the Fatui would do. I'm calling it now. It's the Fatui.
イエランが半分持ってったのに
Ew.
まだまだ多いな。とにかく読んでみようぜ。
Reading official manifestos sounds like so much fun. Read C. Due to a variety of factors, sea storms have become stronger. We set up special patrol unit to deal with sea monsters. Covers various issues related to coastal defense. Okay. Folklore suggests Rex Lapis left a great deal of wealth in the mountains of Liyue. Due to obstacles hindering, okay, many projects have been called off. Idle near the Golden House. They should be given first refusal if any suitable projects arise. Alright, so he's interested in Blackcliff Forge. Treacherous terrain of the Stone Forest. Peak means the area has weak transportation. Dangerous to walk on. Rich in medicinal herbs. Building a road network would be beneficial. Plans to build roads and bridges. Okay, that doesn't like sound bad on the surface
頭が痛くなってきたぞ。
necessarily.
ちょっと休憩しようぜ。
But if we're considering this from an angle of someone trying to gain access to
どうやら俺が一
the
番早
wealth
く
of
戻ったよ
Liyue,
うだな。
like an outside
お
faction,
前はイエランの下っ端の将か。
that could benefit
戻
the
ってきたっ
faction.
てことは会員の調査が終わったのか？
ああ、各紹介を訪ね全面的に詳しく調べてきた。何度も門前払いを食らったが、俺の巧妙な手腕にかかれば。
Well, good for
余
you.
計なことはいいから早く言いなさい。
She said chop chop.
結論からご報告します。官位と接触したほとんどの者は彼の傲慢な性格に文句をつけながらもとても高い評価を下す傾向が。悲運商会の坊ちゃんも官位は傲慢ではあるが物事の対処に関してはそれに契約を交わしさえすれば相手が貧民であろうと富
Didn't
豪であろ
seem
うと
like that was the kind of
皆平
person
等
he
に
was,
扱うそう
but
です。
okay.
全然そうは見えなかったぞ。
その名声に偽造の可能性は？彼の名義にある産業帳簿は調べられるかしら？
本来なら難しいところではありますが、その一通り聞いて回ったところ会員はほとんど全ての帳簿を公開していたんです。どこから仕入れてどこに売るのか、これらは本来機密事項なのですが彼は全く気にしていないようでした。官位は他人には見つけられない商機を見つけるのが得意なのですが、大儲けをした後はまるで飽きたかのように 全ての商業機密を公開してしまうのです。知ったからなんだ、どうせ俺にはかなわないという態度で。しかしそういう人間に限ってお金を稼げているの
Bro's
で
got an ego on him.
おかしなやつだな。あいつにとって商売はお金稼ぎじゃなくて、
結論を検証するためといったところかしら。彼の計画が非常に洞察に富んでいたのは
Still don't know if that would make a great leader though.
言うまでもなく、俺の能力が高く常に人よりも一歩進んでいるからだ。いや、お前より効率がいいからと言った方が正しい
Damn,
か。
okay, keep your beef somewhere else.
まあいい。争うつもりはない。ついでに他の用事を済ませていたんだ。イエラン様、明白の調査が終わりました。
報告して。
総務士によれば、明白は焦りを感じると話が途切れ途切れになってしまうそうです。しかし知り合ってから何日か経てば普通に交流できるようになるそうです。他人が見過ごしてしまうような問題にも常に配慮している人物らしく。
君から見て総務士が彼に対して過大評価をしていると思うところはあった？
ないと思います。明白の名声は
Okay.
少しずつ積み上げてきたものですから。シャオユーによりますと、総務士の業務はほとんど実行する前に明白に見てもらうそうです。彼が同意すると皆も安心できるようで。
Alright, that's good.
それからかつて総務士で上司の目を欺き下の者を騙していた人物がいて、明白にこっぴどく叱られたそうです。
Damn.
うわぁ、おいらも全く想像できないぞ。
So he cares a lot about his work.
目に見えるものが真実とは限らない。
おう、今わかった気がするぞ。
お疲れ様。もう休んでいいわよ。
Interesting. We've got some new information to consider. I did. Yes.
もうちょっと見てくるぜ。
Oh, we didn't finish it all?
この中の項目を単独で読んだ限りでは何も問題はなさそうね。でも一点私が引っかかったのがこの聖居浦再開発計画。元より聖居浦は数々の秘密がある場所よ。過去にはジャクダ竜王がそこで人騒ぎを起こしているし、地下にはさらに多くの秘密が埋もれている。例の一件の後、どこからともなくある噂が流れたの。その噂を聞いた探検隊が七星の許可を得て初めての試験的採掘を。
それで宝は見つかったのか？
いいえ、遺跡の奥底はとても堅固で、特殊な爆薬か何かで硬い岩盤を破壊しなければその先には進めなかった。
Essentially
で
destroying
も
the
当時は
site.
技術も未熟だったから採掘工務は中止になって宝も伝説となったの。地位の計画は全て問題の解決に重きを置いているわ。けれど宝の採掘はとてもリスクが高いし、地位のやりそうな計画には見
This
えない。
faction maybe that's supporting him, the Fatui, them wanting secret Liyue treasure is in line with their
何か手が
goals.
かりはあった？
採掘、ホーム、宝。あ、おいらたち
Yeah, the
計画
forge.
書で見たよな。あ、そうだ。もし適した公務があったら国願城を優先的に動かすって書いてあったぞ。
なるほど。この2つのことが合わさればすでに明白ね。
まさか地位を手伝ってるのって国願城なのか？
いえ、それはないわ。国願城は昔私も調査したことがある。国願城には確かに特殊な爆薬が保存されているけど、でも手がかりは確かに国願城を指してる。だったら見に行くしかないわね。
Alrighty.
まさか官位と明白がオイラたちの印象と全く違うやつだった
No,
なん
no,
て
no,
な。
no. The first guy is the same.
地位にも違う一面があるのか？
There might be. Everyone likes to root for an underdog, though.
さあ、国願城に着いたわ。あたりで手がかりを探してみましょう。
Okay. The forge is just a complete wreck. Nothing of note. Nothing of note. Payday. Can't believe people are willing to join. Oh, newcomers are skilled. Made the team leader. That's sus. That's sus.
誰が書いたかは知らないけど、面白いと思わない？
イエランはその新人たちを疑ってるのか？
ええ、見ての通り、その新人の中に、そのままの勢いでいけば、聖居浦再開発計画が実行される時には、彼らは少なくとも中核になっているでしょう。その時が来たら、彼らは様々な細工ができる。地下にある暗号文を書き写したり想像してみて。もし私たちが疑いを抱いてなかったとして地位が国願城による開発を実行することになった時、でも国願城自体に問題はなく、変わったのは主な役職の人員のみ。これが事前に布石を置いておくことのメリットよ。
なんかそう言われるとその通りかも。おいらこの裏には一体誰がいるんだ？
Are we really asking ourselves this question?
聞かないとわからないわね。
It's the Fatui, obviously. Who else would it be? Iron Shoulder. What a name.
そのオイラたち、あの新人たちについて聞きたいんだ。
ほう、お前さんたちもあいつらに見習いたいのか？あの新人たちはどいつも非常にいい体の素養を持ってる。唯一残念なのが、あいつらは夜になるとよく一緒に酒を飲みに行くんだが、まだ完全に溶け込んでないんだろうな。
一緒に酒を？この近くに酒場はないみたいだし、とても遠くまで行くことにならない？
ああいつらの話ではいつもリーユエ港まで戻って万民堂で酒を飲んでるらしい。
The harbor from
実は今
here?
日作業が終わった後雨が降ってな。あいつらもしばらくはまったく若いもんは元気がいいな。
なるほど。場所を変えて話しましょうか。どうやら私たちの考えは当たっていたようね。
Very suspicious.
あのリーユエに戻ってお酒だなんて、よくもまあそんな言い訳を考えられるものだわ。今日は雨が降ったから地面に足跡が残っているはず。
Then let's go. Let's follow the footprints.
あっちに行ったぞ。追いかけよう。
Goro never fails. My little pupper man.
足跡。確かにリーユエ港に向かってるな。オイラたちが間違ってたのか？
I don't know.
やっぱりリーユエ港には行かず、あっちの方向へ続いてるわ。
Oh, they were trying to be careful. They made it look like they were going to the city, but they actually didn't. Clever, but not quite clever enough. There it is.
足跡がここで消えてる。でも足跡の方向からして、あの古びた家屋に入ったようね。
Are we about to get ambushed by some Fatui? It's what I'm expecting. Looks like there have been a fight here. Work of a professional. Oh. Weird. Compacted mud. Stripes in the dirt were likely made by a bamboo mat. Nowhere to be seen now. Fire that burned out. Something was burned here not long ago. Okay. Here we go. You find a fresh fruit pile. You can't find any more clues. Definitely people were like camped out here.
遅かったようね。ここがあの新人たちと背後の勢力が落ち合っている場所のはず。この灰、さっき燃やしたばかりの手紙だわ。
まだ燃え切ってないとことかないか？例えば燃えてる途中でいきなり風が吹いて火が消さ
そういうのはたまたまのことで基本的に起こらないわ。もう見たけど髪はすべて隅々まで燃えてて廃止。
じゃあ国願城に戻ってあいつらを待つか？どうせあそこに戻るよな。
That's true.
そうとは限らない。ここは彼らが使っていた拠点だけど今はもう何も残っていない。
So what's our
おそらく
plan?
背後の者が私たちの調査を警戒して事前に彼らを引き上げたのね。
それ
Oh.
じゃあ手がかりが全部途絶えたってことじゃないか。
一つ間違えないでほしいんだけど、私たちの目的はさっき入ってきた瞬間変な匂いがしたわ。新人たちは手紙を燃やせば安全だとでも思ったんでしょうね。彼らは知らなかった。
Oh shit! This is
異なる
like
地域で生産された紙と墨汁は
this is
燃え
high
た後の匂い
IQ
が
shit.
違うということを。
The fact that she would know something like this is insane.
おいら匂いなんてわから
A
なか
gentle
ったぜ。
fragrance.
気候がとても厳しく表現が果てしなく続くだけの土地がある。そこのお金持ちの中には花の香りを炭に入れる人たちがいるのよ。字を書
Oh.
くその香り付きの炭が燃えた後はこんな風に特別な匂いが残る。
Yeah. The fatui.
ええ、この証拠は直に風に吹き消されて犯人を捕まえる当てにはならないわ。だけど私にとってはもうこれで十分。相手が誰だか分かった以上次の計画を作れる。
イエラン様、やっとお会いできました。
Oh. Oh, this is the third one.
大丈夫、慌てないで。文燕や昇華と同じく私の部下の部杯よ。
Okay.
以前から地位が普段接触している人間を調べさせていたのよ。部杯は地位は釣りが好きだから近くの漁夫や水手と親しいんじゃないかと思って、そして戻ってきたら国願城に来るよう書き置きを願城茶室に残しておいた。そうすれば万が一黒幕が国願城で待ち
You
伏せ
thought
を
of
していても
everything.
私たちは単独で戦わずに済むでしょ。それで部杯、会場で何か情報は手に入ったかしら？
それなんですが、あまり有用な情報は聞き出せませんでした。
Why was he
近くの漁夫
sobbing
に聞いて回ったんですが、
before?
地位と関わりがある者は誰もいなくて、
Oh.
それどころか荒れ狂う
Oh,
風
because
と
they
波
said
の
he
せい
couldn't
で
swim, right?
私うっかり海に
Why'd
落
they
ちて
send
し
the
ま
one
っ
that
て、
can't swim
や
out
っ
on
と
the
のことで引
boats?
き上げられたんです。戻ってくるや否や、イエラン様が国願城にいると知って着替えるま。
天王寺は地位はかつて一人の漁夫からレシピを買ったと言っていたけれど、この情報については聞き出せなかったの？
Oh, that's true.
知りませんが。
Oh no.
そんな、だってありえません。イエラン様、私は本当に全ての漁夫に聞いたんです。
Is he
レシピなん
poisoning
てありません
him?
でしたよ。
面白いことになったわね。あのとても美味しい魚スープはどこから来たのかしら。
That's really bad. Maybe that's why his health was deteriorating so fast.
何ですか、魚スープって。
Oh boy, he didn't even know. He doesn't even know what this is about. Oh boy.
何でもないわ。今最優先すべきは突破口を見つけて、どう？何か案はある？
Oh.
Why are we still here?
Yeah.
Just to suffer.
For real, Genshin?
I can feel
Okay.
my back.
何か案はある？
All right, take two. Cash them
悪くな
red-handed.
い案ね。でも部杯、君から話してちょうだい。
実は私も地位の尾行を試みたんです。でも彼はすごく警戒心が強くて、不審な人物とは誰一人会いませんでした。
張り込みは意味ないみたいだな。
いえ、張り込みは必要よ。ただその前
Groundwork?
に少し準備をしないとね。
準備？
君も情報を長く続けたらわかるけど、この世に警戒心を永遠に保てる者はいないわ。
Everyone slips
明
up.
日の午前、私は月海亭で彼の勝利を発表するわ。
Oh.
その後彼はどうすると思う？
Report to
時
the
間通り
Fatui?
に来てね。じゃないと面白いものを逃してしまうわよ。
Okay.
みんな揃ったわね。今回の視察結果を発表させてもらうわ。点数の重要性についてはもう繰り返す必要はないわね。天王寺から候補者の視察という重責を託された以上、私も彼が納得する答えを出さなければならない。
ここには俺たちしかいない。包み隠さずはっきりと言ってく
Dang!
れ。
会員は
Shut
画期的なア
up.
イデアを多く持っているけど、詳細の設計がまだ足りないわ。
Sit
そ
the
れに
fuck
明
down.
白は穏やかで筋が通っているけれど向上心が足りない。一方で地位は均衡が取れている。それにリーユエでの評判も悪くなかった。各方面への責任を考慮してリーユエ七世には地位の名を挙げるものとするわ。
なんだって。そのおめでとう。
あり
Aw.
がとうございます。正直ここで自分の名が聞けるなんてですが、私からすれば我々3人のうちの誰であろうと点数に選ばれる可能性がありました。
That guy turned his nose up.
私のそばで仕事を手伝ってくださる気はないでしょうか。
また今度にしてくれ。今はそんなことは考える気分。
俺は別に構わない。
では
Aw.
私からは以上よ。この後着任の知らせが来るはずだから。
立場に恥じないよう努力いたします。これだけは信じていただけると幸いで。では私はこれで。戻って支度をしてからお祝いに外で食事をしようか。
俺はいい。そんな気分にはなれん。
Okay.
地位の緊張も解けたみたいだし、今が張り込みのチャンスかもな。
おい旅人、俺のどこがあいつより劣って
Why
た
are
の
you
か
asking
言ってもらお
me?
うじゃないか。もし答えられないならこの結果認めないからな。
Why? What?
俺も知りたい。
まずい。今絡まれたらいけなくなっちゃうぞ。
先に行って。
Yeah, I was about to say she can just send her men. To leave.
イエラン様、地位は
早く行きましょう。
All right, let's go. Let's go.
地位は本当にファデュイ
That
に
is
願えたの
unfortunate.
かな。天王寺でさえ褒めるようなやつなのに、どうしてファデュイのために動いたりするんだ。
今はまだわからないわ。でも次に彼と会うとき、真実が明らかになるはずよ。
申し訳ございませんイエラン様。見失ってしまいました。あちらの対偵察能力があまりにも
そんなイエランの部下ですら。もしかして地位はまだ。
いえ、部杯曰く普段よりは警戒を解いているそうです。
そんな。
自分を責める必要はないわ。相手は君たちに天王寺を追跡させても方向がわからなくなるまでもてあそばれるだけでしょう。
新月圏です。中にいた時間は短く、しばらくしてから服装の全く違う人物が出てきました。部杯はそのものの気配がどこか地位と似て、
Oh, he
もし気づ
changed
いてしまえば
outfits.
本日の行動が無駄になってしまうと思いました。たとえ現行犯逮捕したとしても我々には証拠がないのですから。ですので私は部杯を止めてここでイエラン様を待ったのです。
よくやったわ。魚が餌に食らいつかなくたっていいの。水の中にいる限りいくらでも捕まえる方法はあるわ。行きましょう、新月圏へ。
I guess we can go confirm and be like, hey, did anyone come in here and change? Maybe that's like what we're gonna go ask.
おいおい、人一人が目と鼻の先で服を着替えていったのに何も聞かなかったってのか。
服装や化粧はお客様の自由ですのでお聞きする理由はございませんが。
It's a little odd though to come in and change and
そ
then
れは
leave.
確かにそうだが、
たとえおかしいと思っても私に阻止する権限はありませんので。
言い争っても意味がないわ。単刀直入に一つだけ答えてちょうだい。
買い物はされていません。ずっと前に予約されていたお酒を受け取っていかれただけです。
お酒？
Oh, celebratory
辛く
bottle.
てまろやかで
一般のお客様は注文しないよ
Oh,
うな
firewater
方は
or whatever
ずっと前
the
にここで予約をして
vodka,
く
the
ださって
word
い
for
て
vodka is in
先
this
ほ
game.
どそれを受け取りにいらっしゃったのです。
酒、酒壺。なるほどね。行きましょう。
どこに？
飛行
Is he
機
gonna
の
go drink with his Oh, right, because he was asking for special. He was asking to buy like special glassware, right? Oh.
邪魔するわね、リンローさん。以前、チーがここで式を予約していたでしょ。私たちはチーの友人なんだけど、彼からここの品は安くていいものがあると聞いて見に来た。
あら、
Oh, good
お二人は
cover.
どんなものを探してるのかしら。
そうね。式についてはあまり詳しくないから、チーが選んだものと同じものでいいわ。
この一式の式よ。少し前にチーさんが受け取っていったわ。古代式の良質な模造品なの。見た目がとても豪華でしょ。ここだけの話、このような式はもうあまり置いてないのよ。
値段はいくらでも融通が利くわ。リンローさんに損はさせないから安心してちょうだい。でももう一つ聞きたいんだけど。
ええ、でもあの一式にある杯は単独でも買えるわよ。一つだけでもいいし、最大
Oh, he
4
was
つ
gonna
ま
go
で買え
drink
る。
with somebody.
ありがとう、リンローさん。まさか式がこんなに奥深いものだなんて、帰ってからもう少し考えてみるわね。
ええ、でもなるべくお早めにね。
面倒なことになってきたな。
自称実力派偵察達人のくせして一般人にすら張り込みがバレるどっか
Dang,
のデ
these
カ
two
ブツのせいだ
have
ろ。
so much beef with each other.
俺
Or
は
these
元から
three.
交渉派だからな。そんな俺と体を張る仕事を比べたりして恥ずかしくないのか。
なんも言えねえ。
イラン、オイラたちの計画ってチーも見つからないし、もうどうすればいいかわからないぜ。
Yeah, to
ただのお
celebrate.
祝いじゃないわ。
どういう意味だ？
It was ordered
まず、
like
チー
months
はあまり
ago.
酒を飲まない。それどころか、父親が原因で酒を嫌っているほどよ。
Oh,
単なる一
true.
人祝いなら、なけなしのお金で高いお酒を買ったり、これは彼の背後にいる者と行う祝賀会ね。その人は強いお酒が好きで身分も高い。だから見た目が高級な式を手に入れる必要があった。この条件に当てはまるファドゥイがどこにいるのか。
ファデュイの役人ですか？
十分な人員を連れてその2箇所を包囲しなさい。
Damn, she's mobilizing the units.
何を考えてるの？隠密での偵察よ。地位は警戒心が高いけれど、だったらターゲットを変えて張り込めばいいだけの話。
そうだよな。もしチーが誰かを接待するためにお酒を買った。
しかしイエラン様、もし気づかれてしまえば。
分かっているわ。
Well, fuck the Fatui. They fucked things over in Liyue. We have diplomatic immunity. We're in
命令を
Liyue.
実行しなさい。
We're in our
それと
turf.
準備は入念にしておいて。地位が行く可能性のある場所すべてに。
The Fatui are the ones that would lose out in any legal battle here.
ご安心をイエラン様。C は簡単には行きませんでしたが、ファデュイの役人の動向については
私は茶室で待ってるわ。予想が正しければファドゥイの役人はおそらく夜に行動を起こすはずよ。君も準備しておいて、後で頑丈茶室で落ち合いましょう。
Okay. Like, what would they even sue them for? Oh, we were being watched unjustly, even though one of our harbingers fucked up your city? Yeah, there was no way that you would win that legal battle. Be fucking for real.
ちょうどいいところに来たわね。先ほど文園から情報があったわ。ファデュイ大使のユスポフが一人で大使館を出て聖教浦の方へ向かったそうよ。
聖教浦？それってチーが計画書に書いてた場所だよな。
どうやら彼らはそこを待ち合わせ場所にしたようね。悪くない選択だわ。聖教浦は魔物が多いため人があまりいない。そこで会えば誰かに見られる心配もないってこと。
よし、今すぐあいつらを捕まえに行こうぜ。
ええ、私の考えが正しければ 今回の行動には
Seems like we caught up
意外な
with
収穫がある
with
はずよ。
them just in time.
ここが聖居浦ね。遺跡が多くて魔物もはびこってるから、ここを通りたい人は皆迂回する。以前調査したことがあるから、開拓時にあった入り口については大体覚えているわ。
Okay, we shall follow you.
ここはかつて開拓された場所だけど、内部の構造はとても複雑で、地下が安全とは限らない。当時の施工隊が安全通路を残しているはずだから。でもやっぱり戦う準備をしておいて。正確かつ迅速に、あまり音を立てないようにね。
Quickly and quietly, huh?
おいらたちはプロだからな。そうだ、イェラン。お前の3人の部下ってどこに行ったんだ？
Little
彼らには
helpers.
他のことをさせているから、
Paimon.
また後で合流することになるわ。
Well, we got this. We have our Geo boys, Kaya and Miss Nang. No hydro. It's okay. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to test Yelan in this. What did I say? Here she is. Very cool. Oh, her bracelet glows. I didn't notice that last time. Oh, it's so pretty. Ooh, fancy bow. All right. Ooh, look at the design. Oh, dang. All right. I am not adept with bow users in this game, so. Her bow is glowing as well. Ooh, that's fun. Ow, I hate that attack. So was her ult just that one, like, attack? Like an AoE thing? Oh! She was glitching. I'm sure I used her super wrong, so can't wait to hear it from all the Yelan mains. Absolutely distraught at my lack of adeptness. Oh, is that the official? Access route. Alright, what kind of puzzle is this? Oh boy. We all know how adept I am at puzzles. Oh, it's gonna guide us? Okay, sweet. Alright, it wants me to fight these things. Oh. Wait, did it shoot extra stuff? Oh, it did! Oh, wow! So it does... It, like, does extra damage. Okay, okay. Okay, so I hadn't realized that earlier. But we know it now. See? Trial and error. I learned by doing. Little flame thingy. Okay. Ah. Okay, we got passages opening up and stuff. Another way through. Guess that's where we're gonna go. Okay, we did all the puzzles through that way. Ah. Okay, so... Oh, move the statues. Okay. I'm assuming we have to get the statues where the light is showing? Let's... oh, wait. We have to get the golden statues, I think. What? Oh. We have to get the golden statues. There we go. Okay. I see what I see. What? I saw sound. What the heck? There we go. Alright, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Thought I saw something. Oh! Yep. My instincts were correct. My RPG instincts. Knew there was a chest around there. Wow. Homegirl is soloing. Oh, and I got an achievement. Look at that. Homegirl solos. Good for her. Secret pathway. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Ooh. You get to sneak and listen.
香りだけでいい酒だとわかる。ご苦労だったな。さあ乾杯しよう。さあさあ、お前から先に飲め。ほら早く。
Wait, he didn't. He's gonna kill off the guy.
これほど強いお酒は初めてで、まだあまり慣れなくて。
じきになれる。我々と友人になるなら酒がなければ話にならんのだからな。
なれるよう精進します。
一杯だけでそんなになるなんてな。そんな様子で大丈夫か？お前が顔色一つ変えず自分の死に毒入りスープを作っていた当時、
So he was.
随分
I
と
was
肝が据わった
right.
やつだと思ったのだがな。
That's low. That is so low.
さあもう一杯飲みながら話そうじゃないか。
はい。ですが、あれは仕方のないことでした。毒を盛るなんてこと、今じゃ聞いただけで震えますよ。臆病な私は毎回毒を盛るたびに家に帰って何日か隠れていたんですよ。
そうだな。お前の苦労は分かっている。我が友よ。これまでご苦労だった。だがやはりお前は毒を盛ることにかけては天才だ。
What? People is in
我
plural?
々がスネージ内から持ってきた毒薬は本来この酒と同じぐらい強烈なものだ。だがお前はそれを感づかれにくい慢性の毒に変えた上、魚の生臭さが毒の特徴的な酸味を中和し、それどころか魚スープをさらにうまくする。
ある日釣りをしていた時、偶然思いついたんです。この方法でなければ天王寺の目はごまかせなかったでしょ
う。いやはやよくやった。今後ファデュイもお前にふさわしい支援を送り、お前の天数の座を揺るぎないものにしよう。聖居裏のこと以外にも要求はまだある。
ご安心を。あなたからいただいた任務であれば全力で行います。
おい、聞いたか？毒を盛るって。天王寺が最近体を崩してたのは
Yes, yes.
あいつやっぱり悪いやつだったんだな。
You don't give the orders around here.
写真機は持ってきてるかしら。
Oh,
持ってなかっ
we
たら
taking
私のを使って。
pictures?
こんな面白い場面しっかり記録しておかなきゃ。
Dang. We are the paparazzi for
いい
real.
酒だ。外交問題は長い間進展がなく、多くの者が聖居裏の宝を狙うようになった。この件が終わればやっと順調に事を回し始めることができる。初めてお前に会った時、俺たちはきっと手を組むことになると思った。お前、当時俺が話したことを覚えてるか？
もちろんですとも。私のように執事の卑しい者はどれほど努力しても天数になる資格などない。
What a fucking jerk.
唯一の方法は現在の天数が最も暗い存在になっている時に私を最も明るい存在にすること。
通常の流れを踏めば他者との差はますます広がるばかりだったろう。他の二人の競争相手を見てみろ。官位には財産、名伯には名簿がある。だからお前を手助けすることにしたのだ。我らファデュイには古い言葉がある。
Oh my gosh,
飢え死
this
にし
guy.
そうな野良犬には一本の骨を与えるだけで
一生家を
Is he
見守っ
really
てくれる
working with this
って
guy?
な。
はい、あなたには感謝しております。
お前の一番の取り柄は従順なところだ。仕事さえしっかりやってくれれば今後は金に困ることもなかろう。ファデュイ以外のものになら何も気にせず大手を振るがいい。
地位が劣等感を抱いているとコウが言っていたけど、どうやら
I
本
don't
当のこと
know.
だった
He
よ
seems
ね。
like he's too crafty to take all these
自分の
insults
優位性
lying
が
down
薄れることを
though.
恐れた彼は、ファデュイの説得に応じて行動を起こした。写真機のフィルムはまだ残ってる？
Plenty.
じゃあしっかり持ってて。ここからが今晩の目玉よ。収穫があるかどうか、全部地位にかかってるわ。
酒はまだあるか。杯いっぱいに注げ。きゅっ。
もう残り少ないですが、どうぞ。お好きでしたら今度もう少し買っておきましょう。
Oh shit. It's poisoned.
いい酒だ。本当にいい。え？
Yup. Yup. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
これは。
I knew it. He's probably immune to it or something. Like he built up immunity to the poison or something. Because he drank it too. And slowly drops to the ground.
お前、酒に毒を。
驚きましたか、ユスポフさん。
お前。
何がいけないのですか？この座につくまで私は何年もかけて勉強し思考を重ね、アマツさ
Dang.
え自分の死にまで手を
So
かけました。
everybody was free
それほどの
game?
苦労をしたのに、喜んであなたの傀儡になるとでも思ったのですか？あなたた
I
ちを
knew
含め
I knew he
私
wouldn't
は
take that
誰に
shit
も頭を下げ
sitting
るつ
down
もりは
because
あ
of
り
what
ません。
he went through as a kid.
愚かな。ファデュイの後ろ盾をなくしたお前がその位置に座り続けられるわけがない。
隅にある干し草は見えますか？あの下にはありったけの爆薬があるんですよ。それに隣の暗い部屋にはあなたが手配した
Oh my
副願城
God
の3人の潜伏者もいる。あなたが意識を失った後、ここに火を放ちます。火はゆっくりと干し草を伝って爆薬までたどり着き、崩壊した遺跡が全てを埋めてくれます。
お前。
国願城にあなたと潜伏者が連絡をしていた証拠を残しておきました。やがて2つの失踪事件は結びつき、真実がゆっくりと明かされるでしょう。ファディは国願城に潜伏者を手配し、遺跡を爆破する特殊爆薬を盗んだ。夜更けに堅固な地盤を破り、ここに埋まる宝を持ち去ろうとした。
Bro thought of everything.
しかしそこで間違いが起こり、全ての発案者が事故死してしまった。確たる証拠の中、大使館は説明を求めるどころか、逆にあなたの自発的な行動だったことにするでしょうね。彼らはそうやってあなたの単独行動を説明し、同時に自らの潔白を証明する。もちろんもう私とは関係のないことです。私はこれを機に聖教ら再開発計画を取り消し、弱みも汚点もない天数になる。
それで完璧だとでも思ったのか？毒薬の件、俺が死した後必ず
記録？お？それはあなたの副官ティオファンが持っている記録のことでしょうか？
Oh shit.
なぜそれを？
あなたが私に接触した時、同時に私もあなたの周りの人間に接触したのです。今日あなたに盛った毒もティオファンから渡されたものなんですよ。後の処理は彼がしてくれるでしょう。あなたがここに永眠することは彼にとっても利益あることですからね。何せ彼はあなたの座っている席に垂涎していましたよ。
あの裏切り者め。
This would be impressive if Homeboy didn't poison that sweet old man. I don't understand that part.
内情を知る者は処理されるか私の共犯になるかのどちらかのみ。さようなら、ユスポフさん。
Oh. Oh, we have everybody here. Okay. Why'd he have to go and poison that sweet old man? Like, that's my one question. We gotta be dramatic about it too. Oh. There we go. Okay. Now we can dramatically walk.
来る時に調べておいたの。君は万が一の時のために3つの避難路を残しておいた。すでに人を手配しているから無駄な試みはしないでちょうだい。それと先ほどの全過程は全て写真機に撮ってある。
茶番劇？イエランさんが何をおっしゃっているのか分かりませんが、私は今回偶然にもパデュイの行動に気づきました。相手の言葉にうまく話を合わせた後、やっとのことで倒したのです。
まだ詭弁をやめないつもり？
Oh boy.
いいわ。彼の体にある毒を検査すれば天王寺のと同じものかどうかわかる。何も言うことがないのならここまでにしましょう。連れて行きなさい。
一歩間違えれば全てを失う。油断していました。あなたたちは彼をつけてきたのですね。なるほど。自分は隠せてもこいつを忘れていたとは。少し話をしましょう、イエランさん。私はかつてこの立場に恥じないように行動すると言いました。
You poisoned...
これだけは保証できます。
それで？
私が着任した後、あなたの利益を保証しましょう。本日ここにいる方を含め全ての方を手厚く扱いましょう。私は不名誉な手段を使いました。それは認めます。しかし私のような執事では他に方法がなかった。
But you were given the you were given the chance.
まだ問題を理解していないようね。
You didn't have to use underhanded anything.
君はどう思う？
Yeah.
そう。チー、賢い者は人生において数々の言い訳を作るわ。
Oh, deceive yourself.
でもそれらの言い訳は他人を騙すことはできても自分だけは騙せない。君は他人の尊重を勝ち取りたいと思っている。それは間違ったことじゃない。でも天王寺は最初からあなたを見下してなんかいなかった。そう、天王寺は師として父として君と向き合っていた。なのに君は毒薬によってその恩を仇で返した。
聞きたくありません。私は
もっと残酷なことに、君はこの方法でしか目的を達成できないと思っていたようだけど、天王寺なら君に必ずこの機会を与えたはずよ。
Is this actual
君が
remorse?
何もしなくてもね。
He's feeling or is this an act? I can't tell.
彼は君をこの世で一番信じていた人だった。君が持ってきてくれた魚スープを何の疑いもなく飲めるほどね。
もう言わないでください。
Oh, seems like he does feel remorse.
人生は釣りと同じ。焦りは禁物だ。何をするにしても急いではならん。若い頃はわしもお前さんと同じで、いつも自分を証明したいと思っていた。だが後々物事の全てが思うようにはいかず、心を落ち着かせてこそ前に進めるのだと気づいた。お前さんはまだ若い。辛抱強く自分を信じなさい。見えるもので自分の価値を証明しなくてもいいんだ。チーのやつはどこに行ったんだ。こんなに経っても会いに来んとは。
忙しいのかもしれませんね。
今度来るとき 出来たての魚スープを持ってこなかったら入れてやらんわい。
Oh no, he misunderstood.
何を思い出したか知らないけど、牢獄ならたっぷり時間はあるわよ。あ、忘れるところだった。もしファドゥイに今日のことを知られたら、牢獄も安全とは限らなくなる。ニットを追うならしっぺ返しを食らうつもりでね。でも今もう一つだけチャンスをあげるわ。
What? What? Hello? Excuse me?
ごめんなさい。私はこれから忙しくなるから、明日の午前にまた頑丈茶室で会いましょう。
What was that? What just happened?
ここの爆薬は私が人を手配して取り出すわ。
Oh, is she gonna try and use him as like a mole in the Fatui or something?
危険があるかもしれないから安心して。向こうが協力してくれれば、それじゃあまた明日。
It seemed that she had some sort of proposition for him. That was sad with Uncle Tien. I was checking to see if I could find the bodies. All right, that was so sad. I just hope he can be cured.
毒はもう取り除きました。しかし、毒素に侵された体は一朝一夕には回復しま
Oh, this is okay. This makes me feel better.
先生、父は
If we have Baiju looking
せん。
after
ご心
him,
配なく、処方通り
he
の
should be
薬を
okay.
毎日続けて服用すれば、長くとも2、3年で全開するでしょう。
2 to 3 years. My gosh.
発見が早かったのが幸いでしたね。あと数日遅れていたら、毒素が臓腑にまで行き届き、危ない状況になっていたかもしれません。
まさかこれほど希少な毒物を手に入れるとは。ファデュイのやつらめ、よほど広いつてを持ってるようだな。
Okay,
だが
talking
私
snake.
たちに出くわしてしまうとは、やつらも運が悪い。
それでは天王寺、我々はこれで失礼します。数日はあまり動かず、しっかり休息をとってください。
ああ、わかってるよ。ありがとう。
I feel so bad. He's probably heartbroken that this kid that he
来てくれたか。
viewed as his like own
今回のこ
son
とは本当にありがとう。ああ、
was doing this to
前は
him.
気力が衰えてきていると感じていたんだが、
Aw.
今は随分頭がはっきりしてきた
Well,
よ。
that's good.
そうなると、点数後継者の選考もそれほど急ぐ必要がなくなったわね。
イエラン、来たのか。
事の処理がだいぶ終わったから暇を見つけて状況を見に来たの。依頼はこれで完了よ、天王寺。私から見て地位はこの座にはふさわしくない。
I don't
でも
like the
カインとメイハ
egotistical
クは
one.
育成を試みてもいいと思うわ。
ご苦労だった。
Just teach the other one how to be better at public speaking. He'll be fine.
人の心は変わりやすいというが、実際に身をもって経験すると、
There was just
オイラの気のせい
misunderstanding
か。
and years of trauma that he went
天王
through.
寺を見くびらないこと。
They just
も
assumed
し
the
も本
worst
当に地位を信用して疑っていなかった
Uncle
ら、
Tien.
私に視察官なんて依頼しなかったわよ。普段の流れだったら、実は月海艇が視察を担当するの。
Oh wow, so he knew
そうよね、
something was up
天王
or
寺。
he could sense
あ
it.
あ、本音を言えば心の底からあいつを信じたかったが、実は地位と知り合ったばかりの頃、あいつがわしに近づいた目的について疑い、出た結論は当時のあいつに他などなかったということだった。いつからあいつまで変わってしまったんだ。あいつを直接推薦する考えはなかったが、正々堂々の勝負をさせるつもりはあったよ。出生と名簿、多くの者が重んじることだが、
Oh wow.
わしにと
Well,
っては
that's
あまり
good.
重要ではない。わしが天数になったばかりの頃も名声なんてな
Oh,
かった。
Ganyu.
関羽お姉様が間に入ってくださって、
確かに地位は賢くて慎重な人だわ。情報から見るとパドゥイ側は彼に対してあまり警戒していなかった。彼が選んだ新月圏の強いお酒はその強烈な辛さで毒薬の酸味を隠すことができるの。 ファドゥイの役人が程よく良い最も油断している瞬間を見計らって
Oh, so
毒を盛った
he
彼は
poured it
買っ
into
て
the
おいた
cup
酒壺の中に毒を隠す段取りをつけていた。
after, I guess.
壺の中の酒が減った後、
Oh.
何食わぬ顔で壺を振れば仕切りの中の毒薬が酒に入る。
Oh,
その後
I
地位
see.
の所持品か
So he
らは
had like
解毒薬も見つかったわ。
Oh, he did have an antidote.
もしもファドゥイの役人が疑いを示したら地位も一緒に毒酒を飲んで。
でも毒薬は体を犯すんじゃないのか？
え
Okay, Coco
え、も
Maid.
し本当に毒酒を飲んでいたらたとえ解毒薬を服用しても大きな後遺症が残ったでしょうね。
地位は今どうなってる？
Aw.
牢獄にいるわ。縁妃の言葉を
Well,
借りれば
I mean, he's sitting in a jail
この世
cell.
の全ての地位にはでも彼はこちらに協力的な態度で交渉を断らなかった。だから私も警備を増やし
Ooh.
交渉？
Yeah, what's this
地
deal?
位を逮捕した時にイランが地位に行った話か。
ええ、私は地位にはあまり興味ない。もし今回の出来事が地位としか関係していなければ途中でもファドゥイと関係しているとなれば話は面白くなってくる。
捕まえられたのか？
あと一歩のところで残念ながら逃げられてしまった。
帝王子もイエランも何言ってるんだ？
She was chasing somebody?
オイランズ。
地位はファドゥイと結託して点数の位置を狙ったでしょ。逆に言えばファドゥイは点数選考に干渉したことになる。あのユスポフというファドゥイの役人は私たちの手の中よ。
Oh, I see.
それにユスポフの副官であるティオファンも操れるわ。彼をファドゥイ内部に潜入させる駒として扱える。
Okay.
こういう駒は重要よ。肝心な場面ですごく役に
Wait,
立つ
so
ん
who
だ
was
か
the big fish you
ら。い
didn't
なければ
catch?
早起きもせず。私が何のために忙しくしてたと思
I
った
knew
の？
she was hooked the second the two became involved.
成功したのか？
半分はね。前半は順調にいって資料もすべて行幸様に渡した。
Wow, okay.
でも私たちが接触しようとした時ティオファンはすでに失
Oh
踪していた。
no, he was probably
対応
taken
がこれほ
out.
ど早かったのはおそらくファデュイの方もこちらに目を配らせているからだろうな。
Who's this
他
big
のツテから
fish?
得た情報ではファトゥス不赦が関与しているようだった。
One of the harbingers.
ファドゥイ
Okay.
の主力はこちらにいないから不赦もこれを遊
Treating
び駒と
this
して扱ったのでしょう。
peripheral concern.
ティオファンに逃げられたのは惜しかったけど未だリーユエに目をつけているファトゥスが誰なのか分かった。
Still looking at Liyue.
私の今
Ooh.
後の仕事にも方向ができたわ。
そういえばイエラン、お前さんは点数を引き継ぐつもりはないのか？何日か前に頑丈茶室でお前さんも興味を持っていたようだったろう。
あれね、もちろん冗談
Oh,
よ。
she doesn't want it?
私はやっぱり
Oh,
今の生活が好きなの。
okay.
危険もスリルもあるし、そしてそれは暗部での行動だからよ。もし点数になったら
Oh, I
暗闇
see.
にも危険にも首を突っ込めなくなるじゃない。さあ、話はここまでにしましょう。私はもう行くわ。
どこに行くんだ？
もちろん。まだ秘密ね。
Oh my gosh. Okay. I
でも
expected that
君
answer.
たちのおせっかいな性格からすると今後も何かのトラブルに巻き込まれることになりそう。次の危険な場所でまた会えるかもしれないわ。それまで決して油断しないこ
Oh,
と。
we're aware.
君たちを狙ってる勢力は
Thanks
結
for
構
the
な
heads
数
up.
よ。まだ何か質問があれば天王寺に聞いてちょうだい。
All right. Bye bye. Ooh, man. Okay. What a conversation.
何か聞きたい
Let's talk to
こと
him
は
real
ある
quick
か？
though.
わしはかつて地位を含めた3人に言ったことがある。地位とユスポフ大使は策士でありながら策に溺れ、互いを駒のように扱っていた。
Ooh.
策略に果てはない。
Gosh, we got a mention of a
対処で
harbinger.
きな
That's
いなら
exciting.
人は皆欲望を持っているが、それに
Direction of your heart. That's nice.
何か聞きたいことはあるか？
Okay.
わ
Let's hear
し
his
がイ
thoughts
エラ
on
ン
her.
と知り合ったばかりの頃、
Tough,
彼
huh?
女、わしのある旧友がイエランをこ
Always
のよう
smiling?
に評価したこと。
Oh,
だがわ
dangerous
しからすれ
person.
ば、そこまで
Hurt the people she trusts. All right, that's good
何
to
か
know.
聞きたいことはあるか？
Sorry, I'm like speed
副社
reading
はファリュイ
this.
執行官
The
第9
ninth.
席で
Okay.
ハテスの中で最も金を持つ者の一人
Where
だ。
wealth is concerned.
だが彼の富はモラだけに限らない。
Unique
奴は財に
understanding.
対して特別な理解を持っているんだ。
Ooh.
それ以上の情報はほとんど聞いたことがないな。
Ningguang. Okay. So he's the wealthiest
何
of
か
the
聞きたいことはある
harbingers.
か？
But he doesn't always consider
エラン
Mora
が言ったよう
the
に
epitome of wealth.
わしの
Interesting.
体はこれから数年かけて、おっと、
And it's- okay.
そういえば簡易と
Go have a chat with them.
何か聞きたいことはあるか？
Oh, okay.
お
Never mind.
前さん、
Thank you.
今後何か？
Thank you, sir. I hope you feel better. Wow. So we have a lot to talk about. Don't we? We have a shit ton to talk about.
Leaving the city? It's a real jungle out there. They say there's this group of guys now who always come out
The
in the
music,
rain, since it
though.
drowns out the cries for help and washes away any sign of a struggle.
That all sounds perfect.
You sure have nerves of steel, ma'am.
The smooth jazz.
Now hand over your goods! Bandits! Help! Help!
Been waiting long? I figured. Well, the waiting game is over.
Oh. The style.
Gotcha.
It's definitely giving like 1950s like detective vibes.
Someone revealed my plans to you in advance, and you didn't think to run. What can I say? Much obliged.
I surrender! Please let me go! You'll never see me again!
Oh, so now you're afraid. I'm sorry, but this is too little, too late.
No, wait! I know who gave you away! I'll tell you! No, I'll take you to them myself!
Smart decision. Get up. Chop chop. Let's
No,
go
not
and pay your
his voice.
friends a little visit.
Oh my gosh.
In the business of national security, the public eye poses many restrictions. While trouble brews in the shadows, it helps to bring in special talent. Someone who can move freely between different circles, covering their tracks as they go. But be warned, this kind of collaboration could cost you, so make sure it's worth the price.
Who's our target this time?
Yelan is a master of the bow, whose hydrovision takes her abilities to new heights. Stronger and more daring than most, she thrives in dangerous situations, leading her enemies slowly but surely into her trap. For Yelan, staying alert to new intel of all kinds is second nature. Wherever she goes, whatever she does, she always returns with a wealth of resources. When Yelan is dispatched on a 20-hour expedition in Liyue, she will obtain increased rewards. Yelan's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage.
I love how
Holding the attack
creative
button
the animations
executes
are
a more precise
for her
shot
attack.
that deals increased
For
damage.
her attacks.
While aiming, flowing water accumulates on the arrowhead, A fully charged arrow deals hydro damage on hit. After leaving combat for a short time, Yelan gains the breakthrough effect, which greatly decreases the charge time of her next aimed shot, and fires a breakthrough barb at full charge. The breakthrough barb deals AoE hydro damage that scales based on Yelan's max HP.
Oh, I
when
see.
When she casts her elemental skill, Yelan moves rapidly using her lifeline, latching onto and marking enemies as she goes.
That's
Tapping
very
and holding
cool.
the skill produce different effects. When tapped, Yelan rapidly dashes forward a short distance. While held, Yelan remains in a rapid movement state and gains increased resistance to interruption while in that state. During this time, Yelan can control the direction she sprints in and can cast the skill again to exit the rapid movement state. Using this skill, she can quickly approach groups of enemies while easily avoiding some of their attacks. Furthermore, it helps her explore the surrounding terrain more rapidly. When rapid movement ends, Lifeline will explode and deal hydro damage to marked enemies based on Yelan's max HP.
Oh, I see.
Also, when Lifeline explodes, the number of enemies marked affects her chance to gain the breakthrough effect. The more enemies marked, the higher the chance to gain the effect.
Game's up. Fun's over.
When Yelan unleashes her elemental burst, she deals AoE hydro damage to nearby enemies and creates an exquisite throw to assist in battle. Exquisite throw follows the active character, and when they perform a normal
even
attack,
off field.
or Yelan's lifeline explodes
Whoa.
and hits an enemy,
I feel like that's a pretty big
Exquisite
deal,
Throw
right?
will join in the attack, dealing hydro damage based on Yelan's max HP.
Very similar to
After
Singcho.
unlocking the talent Adapt with Ease, the active character's damage dealt gradually increases while Exquisite Throw is present.
Oh, wow.
If the Elemental Burst is cast again while this effect is active, the effect will be cleared. Before the fun of guessing the enemy's next move begins, Yelan inspects her hand and tallies up her strengths. After unlocking the talent Turn Control, Yelan's max HP is increased. Based on the number of elemental types in the party, the more elemental types, the greater the increase.
That's cool.
Wherever there is intrigue, Yelan is in the background, quietly weaving her web. By the time her prey notices, it's already too late. In battle, Yelan likes to open with her breakthrough bar. Before using her elemental skill to approach nearby enemies, she ensnares her targets with Lifeline, then lets it explode and deal damage. After the explosion, if she has the breakthrough effect, Yelan may follow up with another breakthrough bar to inflict further damage. When energy is full, Yelan unleashes her elemental burst to create an exquisite
with
throw,
Mia!
providing hydro damage and a damage boost.
That's quite a combination, huh?
So the team can round up the remaining foes. Fate is a cruel and perilous thing. It bodes only ill, lurking in dark places like the chasm. To me, that place is the epitome of human misfortune.
Ooh.
People died there, far from their homes. People with hopes and dreams, dutiful to the bitter end. Different motivations resulted in the same tragic conclusion. People ought to fear disaster, unless they can learn to draw strength from their fear. Perhaps Yelan is just such a unique case. Undeterred by fate's cruel design, there is no path she will not go down in the pursuit of secrets. But what if, one day, she descends into a place from which there is no escape? I am curious, by which of her many sides would she see herself be remembered?
Interesting. Okay.
Please, have mercy. We've told you everything we know.
Scram, it's not you I'm interested in.
The smooth jazz, I can't.
By now she'll be preoccupied with the treasure hoarders. There's a lot to untangle with that group. They should keep her off our trail for a good week or two.
With both the
What the heck was that?
There's no way she can keep tabs on us too.
That was like ice,
Ample time to
not
withdraw when
hydro.
She gets back. Who's there? Where am I? How did I?
Sorry. I know this isn't the farewell party you were hoping for.
You? What are you doing here?
My intelligence network doesn't stop operating just because I leave the city. I know all about the little games you've been playing. I'm afraid the fact that I'm back means my patience has run out. And your luck along with it.
Okay. What was that thing with her coat? What the heck? Okay, so Yelan is a Hydro character. She is a mysterious person who claims to work for the Ministry of Civil Affairs, but comes out as a non-entity on their list. She also claims to work for the Tea House, but only uses it for her true job, an intelligence agent collaborating with Ningguang. She seems like a very cool person. Let's go ahead and read up on the Ministry of Civil Affairs, just so we can get a general idea of what her everyday business affairs are like. Ministry of Civil Affairs, meeting the needs of Liyue's people is the sworn duty of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. The Ministry of Civil Affairs is a government organization under the Liyue Qixing and is headquartered in Liyue Harbor. It is comprised of various departments and may command the Millilith to ensure public safety. The Ministry of Civil Affairs is highly involved in all aspects of Liyue. Most notably, they have recently sealed the Chasm mines due to an accident. All right, powers and responsibilities. The Ministry of Civil Affairs has an extremely broad range of responsibilities. Gathers intelligence and manages material goods, information, and human resources. During involuntary sacrifice, Ganyu mentions they receive intel from the ministry about big-time treasure hoarders in Liyue and Mondstadt planning a joint operation. They're also responsible for public safety, maintains the public safety of Liyue Harbor, roads, villages, and festivals. During the meteorite incident in the Unreconciled Stars event, oh, wait a minute. I haven't, okay, poop. We have to skip over this. Wishes, ooh, okay. We're just gonna go to the next bullet point because this is like event stuff and I don't want to spoil it, so. All right, the ministry sealed off the chasm due to an accident, maintains multiple watch lists of potentially dangerous individuals and criminals. Both Beidou and the Traveler are on a watch list. Beidou is too. Isn't Ningguang and Beidou, like, don't they have like a secret rapport though? That's funny. I understand why the Traveler's on that list. We did make ourselves a, enemy number one of the state day one of being in Liyue, so that makes sense. Also, the Traveler as like a foreign entity that belongs to, they have no allegiance to any nation, but they have this incredible power. I imagine the Traveler is on the watch lists of many nations who have established government systems. Even if the Traveler is heavily involved or has established relationships with the powers that be in that government structure, like Ningguang. We know Ningguang very well. We've spent time with her, and we've spent time with the Knights of Favonius. Like, I feel like even so, I feel like the Traveler is very heavily watched because of how much they've been involved in various things. Like, there's a lot of unknown about the Traveler, so I understand about the Traveler. Beidou, though, it's interesting that she's also on a watch list. There are higher level watch lists that Beidou does not have access to. Since they are top secret. However, she knows that the list is for those that the Qixing are extremely wary of. Beidou doesn't have access to. Wait, so she's on a list. I wonder if she knows if she's on one of the lists. But she said that she doesn't have access to the super confidential ones. Interesting. Okay. Issues bounties for wanted criminals is another duty of the ministry. Management of the Lantern Rite Festival. Okay. Manages the festival's budget, plans fireworks shows, ensures the safety of the festival, delivers festival supplies, Zhao lanterns to other villages. The ministry must clean up Zhao lanterns after the festival. Okay. Maritime Authority and Port Administration. This includes managing mooring of ships and collecting rent for mooring spaces. The ministry handles the operations of the harbor and keeps the waters clean of debris. During fishing for jade, the Traveler assists the ministry in cleaning up, yes, I remember this, up Flotsam after the battle with Ocial. Administration and regulation of commerce and business. Administers proficiency tests and grants business and exit permits. In the art of hospitality, Swan asks Alois for relevant documents issued by the Ministry of Civil Affairs, which may include exit permit and permits to do business. Sedan chair bearers must obtain a sedan chair permit and take written and road proficiency tests before they can carry people around. That's funny. Makes a lot of sense though. Sailors are required to obtain 4 major and 5 minor navigation-related qualifications, as well as participate in a 2-year maritime navigation training and apprenticeship program before they can sail the sea. Oh, wow. The 9 qualifications are as follows: fit for sailing, ship maintenance aptitude, power man. Okay, wow. So very, very official. In Shadow of Yore, Clement mentions he obtained registration from the ministry so he can conduct an archaeological survey. Due to the chasm being closed off, the ministry ordered work in the chasm be ceased, and the ministry's approval is required for work to resume. The ministry oversees business transactions to check for contraband items and proper tax declarations. Okay, handles customs, procedures for import and export, labor and tax administration, issues temporary unemployment, medical and food stipends, reviews applications for tax exemptions and deductions. Okay, so just like essentially the governing body. Other civil affairs, mail forwarding, dispute mediation. Okay, we got our members here. Yelan. I wonder if she's like, I wonder. I know she's high up in the ranks, but I wonder. I don't imagine that like these other members like constantly engage with Yelan. I feel like she's very undercover. You know what I mean? Okay. So now that we have a little bit of an idea on the ministry, let's check out the tea house really quick, since this is her place that she purchased. This is where we got like a terribly rude. I remember talking to this NPC right here who stands in this window, because I was just curious when I first came upon this tea house. I was like, oh, it's so cute. And I noticed that there was guards, and I was like, why are there guards in front of a tea house? And I spoke to the NPC, and the NPC was so rude for no reason, like really rude. And anyway, lore. The tea house claims to offer high quality teas and quote unquote other goods, but it is actually a casino. They refuse to show their stock of tea varieties, and customers must pay a deposit up front in order to enter. The tea house is notorious for having bad customer service. Oh yeah, its hostess is extremely rude. Oh, she is. Before the traveler's arrival to Liyue, the previous owner had an outstanding debt with the Northland Bank, who in turn sent Child and Haver to reclaim it by force. Child exposed the previous owner's fraud, landing him in jail while also obtaining a sigil of permission in the process. Okay, that was in Child's like character tales, I'm pretty sure, in all of his like trailers and stuff. After Osiel's defeat, the Fatui that were previously using the tea house left. Yelan, who had intended on investigating the previous owner on her return from abroad, took this opportunity to turn the tea house into her secret base. Soon, she became famous for her gambling skills, and people warned others of her on the bulletin board. Fun. Etymology. Considering there is a cliff behind the store, Yansheng may mean on a cliff. Alternatively, it may mean above the rock, as it is located on the street of which lower end is a square, oh I see, called the Chiwei Rock. In the Chinese version, the securities, the halberd and the fang only say hang and ha, respectively. They are likely a reference to the two generals, oh, hang and ha, a type of mention, Chinese gate gods who usually form a pair, oh, who originated as Buddhist guardian deities, but were later incorporated into Chinese legends as mythological generals by the fantasy novel. Oh, how fun. Cute. Okay, cool. So we got an idea for the tea house. Let's go ahead and look at her lore. A mysterious person who claims to work for the Ministry of Civil Affairs, but is a quote-unquote non-entity of the Ministry of Civil Affairs list. Elusive, enigmatic, erratic, all of these are Yelan's hallmarks. Ooh, okay. Character details. Liyue's Ministry of Civil Affairs is an organization marked by transparency. From ordinary staff members of the 8 trades to prominent officials of Yujing Terrace, every employee has their basic information documented in the ministry's lists. Yelan, despite claiming to work for the ministry, is the sole exception. Most of her colleagues have never heard of her, nor is her name anywhere to be found on any rosters. This does say something about her character: elusive, enigmatic, and erratic. She is a ghost who walks in the middle of many crises under various names, but before the storms can come to an end, she has already disappeared without a trace. Sometimes she will pick a side in some conflict to offer her help, but those who receive her aid would be fools to celebrate prematurely, for they soon find the same help has been extended to their opponents. Having stepped into her trap, many have vowed to take revenge, yet none are able to tell what she is planning, let alone know where she stands. Many believe that she is a spy who works for some mysterious organization, and that her forte is stirring things up in the dark, which she then relies on to attain what she wants. Some even go as far as saying that she is a frenetic follower of disorder who neither serves in any organization nor holds any meaningful purposes. Even if she does, all she wants is to add fuel to the already spreading flame and drag everyone down into a world of madness created by her. With so many theories and guesses circulating, she has become a mystery. As for the truth, you could only hope to get an answer from Yelan herself. But unfortunately, this is no easy task either, for it is always she who finds you when she wishes to, not the other way around. Okay, character story 1. Pharmacies in Liyue Harbor occasionally receive curious patients. On some days, it might be a Sumeru mercenary, on other days a Fontaine adventurer, and there might even be some Mondstadt fisher who accidentally fell into water and bumped her head against a rock. These people are of different ages, statuses, and origins, but there is something equally peculiar to them. That is, they all share a slight addiction to pain. They like the stinging sensation when pharmacists apply herbal remedies to their wounds and enjoy the dull pain caused by pressure on their bruises. They even seem to care little if anesthetic is used or not when they are put through painful therapies. Surprised by their extraordinary endurance, novice pharmacists are sufficiently distracted such that they fail to notice that all their patients are actually the same person. They are, all of them, Yelan in disguise. A master in this art, she always manages to avoid attention. As for the wounds on her person, these are the inevitable result of her constant exposure to danger from mission to mission. Despite the curious job, Yelan herself is not very curious about the world. She eats, sleeps, and lives just like everyone else, but few things can really pique her interest. She is well read, but she is no avid reader. She always knows what to say to achieve the best result, yet she takes no pleasure in playing mind games. She travels far and roams the lands, yet the traveling and roaming are bland to her. In Yelan's eyes, these things are not hobbies, but a means to an end. She even prefers to roll the dice to decide how she will pass the time. Just as someone who is so used to spicy food might lose the ability to enjoy ordinary dishes, Yelan finds that only spicy cuisine can bring her satisfaction. Blandness is synonymous with blindness. While thrills afford clarity, acting upon said philosophy, she chooses an acute style of life, venturing into many places while hiding in the shadows. She dances with danger, secrets, and a strong sense of achievement. These are the vivid proof of her existence. All right, character story 2, friendship level 3. Shorn of her masks, Yelan is a special intelligence officer who reports directly to the Tianquan Ningguang. The title itself is not entirely accurate, for it only covers the scope of her work but not her relationship with the Tianquan. Deep in her heart, Yelan does not think of herself as anyone's subordinate. The way she sees it, she is not so much working for Ningguang as making good on her end of the deal, or rather, she is honoring a certain pact. She plucks the fruits of intelligence from the tree of danger for Ningguang, and in return, all she asks for is danger itself and the sense of achievement. None know when their collaboration began. The only thing certain is that Yelan has long made her presence felt in lands outside Liyue, from other nations in Teapot to even the perilous abyss. Every secret and perilous domain shall become a garden where orchids bloom. Stealthily, she roams the night, stars shining upon her in the skies. Character story 3, friendship level 4. Yelan spends much of her time patrolling and roaming the chasm, where she often stares into the darkness deep below. Her family's history dates far back into an ancient age, and her ancestors once fought in the chasm against a great cataclysm. Wanton death was dealt during this battle, and even a yaksha met their end there. Only a few survived the grueling bloodshed. One of her ancestors died, while the other went insane, constituting a huge blow to her family. Yelan has always wanted to find out what happened back then. Despite her better judgment, she can't help feeling attracted to the chasm. It's almost... It almost feels like something that runs in her blood. Something inexplicably ominous has been summoning her to the chasm. Perhaps she will plunge into that darkness one day, and the ill fate that once befell her ancestors shall find her too. The ominous calling that runs in the family shuts down her fear and turns on her craving for danger. This may be the reason for the peculiarities in her character, Yelan presumed. She had never doubted it until she came of age, until the seal on the chasm was lifted. With the help of her companions, she unveiled the hidden past of her ancestors. That moment marked a new chapter in her life. In the past, she was a wild beast, driven by pure instinct. Drawn to danger, she walked into darkness. From that moment on, she has found the true meaning of her instinct. That which hides inside her, that constant calling, is not only a source of worry, but also a light of guidance. It is the blood of heroes which has been howling for 500 years. She has no fear, for the courage within her makes her strong. She craves danger, for the air of heroes is meant for a great adventure. Someday, she will embark on the path her ancestors once took. She is the descendant of heroes, and she shall become the hero for many who will come after her. Wow, okay. I'm pretty sure we know who these people are. Yes. We can quickly read this, just to get an idea. Boyang is a historical character. Okay. Boyang is an ancestor of Yelan and the brother okay, we know this. He fought alongside Bosacius in the Millelith against the monsters from Khanria. They contrived a stratagem to strap and seal the beasts in the depths of the chasm by using the fantastic compass, a catalyst which had the power to manipulate space. In the critical moments of the fight, Bosacius and Boyang ultimately sacrificed themselves by sealing themselves along with the beasts because the compass needed constant energy flow from a mortal and an adeptus to operate. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just a little curious about this. You know what? I'm going to read this a little bit. This is, something that is part of Yelan's overall lore, since this is a device that she said was given to her ancestors. So I'm just going to quickly read this. Fantastic Compass is a magic device created by an unknown individual in ages past to seal away evil monsters, which later came into Sea Gazer's possession. Okay, so we don't know who made it still. Interesting. Later, Sea Gazer became good friends with a human and gave the device to him to use as a catalyst. A few years later, great demons began haunting the mountains, and the mortal and the adeptus joined forces to exorcise them using this device. 500 years ago, Boyang and his brother, two brothers who are the ancestors of Yelan, were gifted the fantastic compass by someone of great importance. Perhaps Yelan's clan studied the device because Yelan mentions that the compass is very similar to catalysts made by her clan that only they know how to use. When the cataclysm began, the two brothers were ordered by the Choosing to take the compass with them to aid the Millelith in the battle at the chasm against the monsters of the abyss. During the fight, they discovered the chasm's bed and lured the monsters deeper into the depths. Together, Boyang and Bosacius used the fantastic compass to seal the intersection between the chasm's bed and the rest of the chasm, granting Liyue victory over the monsters, with the compass being lost since then. Much later on, Yanfei found a will. Okay, this is just like a recap of the perilous quest, the perilous journey quest. According to eyewitnesses, the book that the will was in describes the device. When mortal and adepti powers are combined, one can move the heavens and shake the earth. This contraption is proof that mortals and adepti may coexist, that there is unity between heaven and humanity. While stuck in the chasm's bed, Yanfei attempted to use the device to see if it works. Since she has both adepti and human lineage, the device activated, but only for a moment, since Yanfei is not strong enough. The brief activation seemed to trigger something, causing the voices of Boyang and Bosacius to be heard. Okay, cool. So we still don't know who made it. Interesting. Okay, cool. I just wanted to quickly read up on him. Actually, what about the brother? Is it just a recap too? Fought against the Settler Abyssal Monsters, Yao and Yelan. Okay, so there's no extra information on him that we don't already know. Cool. You can pause and read that if you want to. All right, character story 4, friendship level 5. The Ministry of Civil Affairs has a special attention list. The list isn't long, but everyone on it is truly extraordinary. For instance, the unbound and forthright leader of the armed fleet and the capable outland traveler with a broad range of skills. Oh, so we're on the list because we have extraordinary talent. I see. The list even includes some reclusive adepti in Liyue whose names still bear great weight today. These people could easily bring storms upon Liyue, their intentions notwithstanding. As such, the Ministry of Civil Affairs, ever on guard against risk, still watches them closely. On top of that, there is also a more classified secret intelligence list. Those on it are the real threats to Liyue. So who are they exactly? The Fatui Harbingers? Figures from the Abyss Order? Or perhaps are even the names of gods listed there? Other than the Qixing, Yelan is likely to be the only one who can answer these questions, for she is the very person who compiled the two lists. The results of such work please her greatly, and day after day she perfects the lists, as crows embellishing their nests with their shining trinkets. That said, while both are equally obsessed with collecting, Yelan must sweat and even bleed to secure what she is after, while crows need only flap their wings to achieve their aim. Fortunately, this does not bother her at all, for she believes that the intelligence is worth whatever cost she is going to pay. One day, the information will come in handy. Liyue will never plunge into disaster without any clue of the danger like it once did 500 years ago. She will see to it that Liyue is not caught unprepared. Okay, character story 5. Don't play dice at the tea house. If you can't help yourself, play with someone you know. If a lady whom you've never seen before invites you to a game, just ignore her. Heed this earnest advice from veteran gamblers. Do not try your luck with that terrifying woman unless you want to have a gloomy day. The invincible lady of the tea house is none other than Yelan herself, and one of her guises is that of the owner of this tea house. And a while ago, when she came back from abroad, Liyue had just weathered the OCL crisis, and the Fatui who had occupied the tea house were now largely out of the game. Yelan seized the opportunity to take it over, turning the tea house into a secret base. On the other hand, with people from all walks of life to be found here, the tea house serves as an ideal source of intel. On the other hand, as Yelan has no issue with occasionally giving herself a break, she will pretend to be a regular customer, drinking some tea and playing a few rounds of some game. Every round of finger guessing is a tiny adventure, and every roll of the dice sends sporadic thrills down her spine. Even the smallest challenge is something she can never get enough of. As an intelligence operative, Yelan takes pride in her skills. She is confident that she can read her opponent's eyes and roll the dice such that they fall outside the rules but well within her designs. If there is a draw, that could only mean one thing. Her opponents are cheating too. Don't try to reason with her. The very concept of reasoning is simply foreign to the tea house, nor does it exist in Yelan's vocabulary. Be good and choose between the pain of losing and the disgrace of cheating. You want to have neither, huh? Then why don't you turn the clock back to the very beginning? Don't play dice at the tea house. Okay, so she cheats to get what she needs. The fascinating bracelet and the white silk mantle. Throughout Yelan's intelligence career so far, there has been one memorable operation that fuses both failure and success together. One can say that it was a failure because she lost a family heirloom named the Fascinating Bracelet during that operation. The inside of the jade bracelet is engraved with a spell passed through her line that turns the heirloom into a simple communication device. However, the spell requires a pair of such vessels to work. Now that only one bracelet is left, it is no more than a mere accessory. However, the operation also proved a success for Yelan because her enemy did not get the upper hand either. And this enemy of hers was no ordinary character. Ooh, it was none other than the Regritator. 9th of the Fatui Harbingers. Ooh. Yelan infiltrated a secret trade route that was run by Regrettator behind the scenes, intercepting the goods and picking the most precious one of them as compensation for her bracelet. Now, there once existed a strange mystical beast in times of old. A robe made from its fur would be worth a fortune, and due to its rarity, such a robe is exceptionally hard to procure. In fact, the beast is so powerful that although it died centuries ago, its body remains intact today, and its fur still emits a mysterious fragrance. Regrettator had intended it as an offer to the Sarista, yet Yelan unexpectedly intercepted it. Not only that, she also rejected the style that Snezhnayans had chosen for their Sarista. She yanked the fur off, combined it with Liyue's Rami yarn, and made a rather fashionable sleeved mantle for herself. This series of happenings could be seen as significant or insignificant, depending on one's perspective. Ultimately, it all boils down to 3 words: gains and losses. The cycle of gaining and losing is a rather accurate summary of Yelan's life. None of that really bothers her though. Instead, she takes immense pleasure from it. Alright, vision, friendship level 6. Yelan wasn't always on her own. Many years ago, she once had a team who watched each other's backs. They were a small group of people who, for various reasons, chose to tread a path in the dark with her. But back then, Yelan had not yet realized that her clever tricks and ingenious traps, the skills that she took pride in, could not solve everything for her. Enemies with a strong sense of self-control would not take her bait. Opponents with cunning and calculating minds would not fall for her schemes, and those with overwhelming power would simply strong-arm their way out of her traps. Therefore, Yelan and her team paid the price. One by one, they perished along the way, though they had long foreseen and prepared themselves for such a fate. Still, after a mission to investigate the abyss, Yelan eventually found herself left alone. For the first time in her life, she stopped for a long, long time. Wait, a long, long time? That could be taken metaphorically, or we could assume she was in the abyss for a long time, because we know that the abyss, time in the abyss is different. So Child was in the abyss for years, but he was only gone from Teapot for a couple months, right? Oh, so maybe Yelan was in the abyss in a similar situation where she was gone in Teapot for only a little bit, but she was in the abyss for, like it says here, a long, long time. This state of affairs persisted until one day when Ningguang visited her in her wood hut personally. Ooh, wood hut. You haven't been back to Liyue Harbor for a while. Something must have happened. I can understand if you want to quit. Ningguang stood outside the door with a serious look on her face, but her voice still casual and relaxed. But it's all right. I work with those I trust, and I trust those I work with. I'm willing to believe that you're here trying to find a way out. All postures, aggressive or defensive, are all means to an end anyway. There was no response, but only a suffocating silence. A long time passed before Ningguang finally heard an answer from behind her. We both made a mistake. We shouldn't have involved ordinary folk in what we do. Ordinary folk? Even as Ningguang was formulating the thoughts, a flash of blue shot towards her, stopping as it passed her by. In a display of great control from the archer, the arrow quickly shattered into pearls of water and broke into glistening shards of light before touching the ground. Ningguang turned around and saw Yelan walking up, a bow in hand, blood dripping down from her fingertips. One could only imagine the days and nights of grueling training in archery Yelan had gone through for all her fingers to bleed. Knowing Yelan well, Ningguang also understood that she must have been through an uncommonly tough situation. Only that could explain Yelan's uncommon determination to lock herself up for this grueling retraining. Yelan aimed at the mountain in the distance, a gesture that was also an answer to Ningguang. She released the arrow. Like lightning, it shot into the skies, piercing through clouds with might that could shatter the dome of heaven itself. Oh, as if responding to the call of an unknown power, Waters in the mountains growled and howled, then swirled their way upward in the form of countless arrows. When they met halfway in the sky, they exploded in a curtain of water, bringing down a squalling shower like those that adorned summer nights. As the sky cleared, there was no rainbow, no butterflies to be seen, only a faint pillar of light that fell into Yelan's palm. According to Ningguang, the vision carries a message. From today onward, leave all matters to the extraordinary Yelan. Oh, you know what? I kind of like this. This is like the only character where it seems like from this description that Yelan demanded a vision from the heavens. She said, "Give me one now. I will not take no for an answer." How interesting, because most people find their visions, right? Most people are quote unquote gifted one, but she attacked the heavens. She said, "Give it to me now. I want a vision to be able to keep people safe." Wow. How cool. Okay. Friendship level 10. Dice are always quite hard to make fair. That goes double for dice with shoddier workmanship. The weighting on each numbered side will almost certainly be unbalanced. Okay. Shadowy orchid is the meaning of her constellation. Very cool. Wow, okay. We will go ahead and listen to what people have to say about Yelan.
I met her once, back when I'd just become an exorcist. I'd taken a commission to perform an exorcism in someone's home and was just leaving at the end when I ran into her. She wrote my name down in a booklet. I guess she just wanted to confirm I wasn't doing anything suspicious. Anyway, it was just that one time. I never saw her again after that. Now that I think about it, it's probably because the sight of me meditating motionless must be pretty boring to watch. Not exactly suspicious.
She was adding him to her lists.
Even though Miss Yelan is absent from work for the majority of the year, I'm sure Lady Ningguang must have her reasons for making exceptions for her. Of course, it wouldn't be my place to ask, so I don't know the details of their arrangement. I remember seeing her one day on my way back to Yue Pavilion. She was having breakfast with a group of people. They were all talking and laughing, eating, drinking tea. I must admit, I found myself feeling a little envious in that moment.
Well, hey, I guess even people as important and old as Ganyu aren't afforded the luxury of knowing Yelan's, why, like, she doesn't know why Yelan is absent and doesn't know why Ningguang offers Yelan such quote-unquote leniency. It's not even leniency because Yelan's doing work for Ningguang, but it's interesting that even someone as important and old as Ganyu doesn't know.
Miss Yelan's ancestors used to serve the Qixing. My grandfather and her family have had academic collaborations in the past. All in all, she's reliable, efficient, and provides important intel to the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I can't say for sure how Miss Yelan actually gets her intel, however.
Okay.
She's a very interesting character. I can say with the utmost confidence that she is someone I trust unreservedly. She handles herself impeccably, which means she stays beyond reproach. Since you both have high intelligence in common, hopefully you will get along very well.
Okay. All right. Ningguang has praise for both Yelan and the Traveler.
Yelan? Of course, I remember her. When I first met her, I was certain she'd be the kind of gal who'd prefer lighter dishes. Turned out that she can handle the most spice out of all my customers. Apparently my dishes weren't spicy enough for her because she started taking bites of raw Jieyun chilies. Truly amazing.
All right, let's hear what Zhao has to say.
I've heard that she once investigated the chasm, following the trail of the Millilith. If she can investigate mysteries like that on her own, she must be someone of rare skill.
Oh. Baby, you were there. Investigated the chasm? Following the trail of the... honey, you were with us. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Is this a separate incident?
Have you heard the expression, same person, different face? Miss Yelan gives me precisely this feeling. When she came to visit my family, my father and brother treated her with respect, and she was pleasant and polite in return. She seemed like a kind and mature young lady to me, but when I saw her elsewhere, she gave a completely different impression.
So Sing Cho kind of knows that something's up with her. Seems right for him.
Yelan is an employee of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. She once helped me crack a tough accounting fraud case. I treated her to dinner afterward. The only thing is, I feel like she's able to read my mind at any given moment when talking to her. Yes, in the future, I need to make absolutely sure I don't get on the wrong side of her.
Interesting. I wonder if this is before the quest we did, because I feel like her and Yanfei were like got a lot closer during the Perilous Trail quest. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and read her birthday letter really quick. Come have some tea. Oh no. Some people just can't seem to go a single day without stirring up trouble. After many days of investigations, I finally captured a perpetrator behind a smuggling case and gave him an unforgettable interrogation as a gift. Working off of the clues he revealed would make things much easier. If you ask me, it's unfortunate that they let this drag on for so long. Anyway, now that the case is closed, I can finally have a good rest. I'm done with thinking for today, and I hope people can spare me the pleasantries. Finding a quiet place to have some tea sounds like a better idea. You're welcome to accompany me. Oh, you're welcome to keep me company. Of course, I won't be telling you the details of that case, but as for anything else, we can talk about them in detail once we meet. Okay. Kind of an all business kind of lady. Etymology. Yelan's name means night orchid. The Chinese name of her constellation literally means the shadowy guest constellation. Oh, the character can be also alternatively translated as remote, concealed, or tranquil. In Imperial China, these characters were another term for hermit scholars. This may also be a reference to the Chinese literary work Collected Sayings of the Western Creek, written by the Song Dynasty scholar Yao Quan, which has a section describing 30 flowers as 30 types of guests. In it, orchids are called shadowy guests. Oh, cool. Yelan's Chinese title, Orchid Grows in the Dark Ravine, is derived from the idiom, orchids growing in the dark ravine will not cease their fragrance for a lack of people. Oh, so kind of like resilience and persistence. Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, let's go ahead and read her voice lines. Or not read. Listen to, I should say.
Hello, traveler. Call me Yelan. I think you may need my help, and I just so happen to be interested in some information you have. In other words, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
All business.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again. Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it. Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you? It's raining again? Oh, this isn't good. If the rain washes away the traces, it's gonna set us back a long way. Only innocent children and timid adults are scared of thunder. But you're not either of those, are you?
I don't know. I think Levine, I don't know if she's scared of thunder. Lightning, maybe she's trepidatious about because of what happened to her and the Inazuma arc. But I don't know if thunder specifically scares her.
It's getting a little cold. Time to bundle up. This blinding sunlight is such a pain. No way I can get a nap in this weather. There's a restlessness in the wind. So early. I usually get up at noon if I don't have any urgent work. I'm getting sleepy. Think I'll take a nap. Don't wake me. I'll wake up naturally when it's time to work. Good evening. Have you had dinner? What did you have? How was it? Oh, just making conversation. Don't think anything of it. Come on now, drink your milk and go to sleep. What? You're not a kid? All right, well, I'll just leave it right here. It's yours if you want it. I usually fall asleep well after midnight. Full disclosure, if you're a sleep talker, I can't promise I won't take notes, okay?
Okay. Duties?
The Qixing know Liyue like the back of their hands, but there's certain information out there that can only be obtained using more specialized methods. That's my area of expertise, so I generally take care of all those assignments myself. Some say the boss of Yenshan Tea House is a young entrepreneur who got rich overnight. Some say there's a sickly and frail senior employee of the Ministry of Civil Affairs living as a hermit outside the city. Others say you should stay away from restricted areas, or you'll get haunted by a blue ghost. Obviously, most civilians have never heard the name Yelan before, so you can safely laugh off all these rumors. Huh? What's that look on your face for? You don't have to be on guard around me. I never scheme against people who have my stamp of approval.
Well, that's something at least, right?
Don't be too ready to believe people when they cross their heart and hope to die. Sweet talkers only say what you want to hear. And think twice before meeting someone else's gaze. Your eyes speak volumes about what you're thinking. When it comes down to it, we're friends. And if somebody ever conned you, I'd feel like I'd been cheated too.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's a higher friendship level line. So it makes sense that, you know, like you're established friends now and she's kind of in your corner. That's kind of nice, huh? All right, vision.
Wherever there's important information to be found, the stakes involved in extracting it are often fatal. It doesn't matter how big or reliable the team under you may be. You can never completely rule out the risk. The bottom line is, have enough force at your fingertips to control the situation. I got lucky. I got my vision just a few days after realizing that. Otherwise, you'd probably be talking to a very disheveled-looking ghost right now.
Wow. A ghost, huh? Okay, so she believes she'd be dead like multiple times over if she didn't have her vision. I like how she says, I got my vision. And when it was made, it was kind of implied that she like strong-armed her way into getting one.
If you grind loach pearls down to size, they make excellent earplugs. They're very soundproof. You can sleep away blissfully even when there's someone screaming right in your ear. Of course, I hope for your sake that you don't ever need them for that kind of reason.
Jesus Christ. My gosh.
The bracelet on my right hand? I suppose there's no harm in telling you. It contains a kind of magic used by our clan, and it can send simple messages. The meaning of those messages is buried in the blue light, and only I can decipher them.
She didn't tell us that the other bracelet's missing. She kind of shared half the truth. Interesting.
When I'm tracking a target, I like to put psychological pressure on them. In the process of trying to shake me off, they'll start to panic, bring in reinforcements, alter their plan. They keep going like this until eventually they've exposed everything I need to know. Do you know much about weasel thieves? They're not especially intelligent creatures, but once you tame them, they can be trained to steal things and even pick locks. Pretty clear-cut case, isn't it? If even animals can be used as pawns with the right methods, the same has to be all the more true of people, who are constantly plotting and scheming against one another to begin with.
Well, that's a pessimistic statement, but it fits in with her line of work and what she has to deal with and what she's been through as well.
I got to know Ningguang a long time ago, before she was a Qixing, and we worked together for a while. Maybe I'm partly to thank for the fact that she became a Qixing so quickly. Who can say? Anyway, she was the one who recommended this job to me. It was a good choice. I'm very well suited to it.
Oh, that's interesting. So she knew Ningguang before she came into her power fully, and they worked together. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's a cool little tidbit of knowledge.
Ningguang is good to work with. but I have to be mindful of our identities when I'm out in public. When I meet a Qixing as an employee of the Ministry of Civil Affairs, they're sir or lady to me. Ah, the secretary. I could never work non-stop like she does. Certainly not at that level of efficiency. I guess being half Adeptus must have its perks. Imagine not needing sleep to regain your energy levels.
Well, she trades in working all night for napping during the day. Or at least falling asleep standing up.
I don't really like people who cram their schedules full because it doesn't leave any room for negotiation. If something happens that they didn't anticipate, it throws their plans into oblivion, impacting not just themselves, but their coworkers too. But the Yuhong is different. She works in a very methodical way. I always enjoy working with her. I like Yanfei a lot, and I'm not talking about our friendship. As a high-profile legal consultant, important intel in Liyue Harbor is constantly flowing in her direction. Whenever I help her out, I always get some invaluable leads in return. I gotta say, though, sometimes I think she respects me a little too much.
Oh. Okay.
The elders in my clan once said that we must always show the utmost respect to the vigilant Yaksha. Apparently, the only time that our ancestor would gain some temporary relief from his insanity was when passing by the Wangshu Inn. It must have been the comforting effect of his presence that wards off evil spirits. That said, if I ever have the honor of fighting side by side with the conqueror of demons, I will focus only on the mission. I cannot let myself be distracted by concerns about his status.
See, this is what ended up happening, but in like a roundabout way. Like, she stood her ground, like she openly disagreed with him. Like, that's her saying, oh, I'm going to focus on the mission. I'm not going to like be intimidated by his status, which is what she did. But I feel like she ended up caring about his well-being like towards the end. Like her reaching for him before he like sent them all away. I don't know. I feel like she tried to come into the situation very like focused and hard-headed, but it kind of, as she spent time with Zhao and other, Yanfei, the whole group down there, I feel like it softened her a little bit, not like permanently, but I felt like she allowed herself to care in maybe ways she doesn't usually do in everyday life because of what she went through with her previous group of adventurers that she was with and the traumatic loss of them in the abyss, I think, is where they all died slowly, one by one, is what it said. So I think this is like it's cool to get like her perspective, and then to know in context how that ended up playing out is interesting. Anyway, moving on.
Xiangling, the lovely little chef. Her ingredients are always top quality, easily as good as Lioli Pavilion and Xinyue Kiosk. Sometimes I go to her for dried Jueyun chilies. She doesn't seem to understand why I eat them in the way that I do, and I don't feel like trying to explain it to her either. It's just a family tradition. Of course I remember him, the young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild. I have dealings with his family all the time. Who knows? Maybe one day he'll be outsmarting everyone around him too.
Oh, I 100% agree that when Xingqiu grows up, he'll be a person to contend with for sure. Ooh, she has lines about Tartaglia.
The Fatui Harbinger? He helped me out once, unwittingly. I was planning a deep-reaching investigation into the former owner of the Yanshang Tea House, but our Harbinger friend got to him first. He showed up demanding payment of his debt, and also exposed his accounting fraud, which got him thrown in jail. That made it very easy for me to take over Yanshang Tea House myself, and it's proven to be a very useful base.
Okay, so not necessarily about Child personally, but she's like, I was able to use his actions and the results of his actions to my advantage.
The reason I'm willing to bet on you is because of your special status. I think it'll bring me a lot of leads that can get me closer to the truth. So, got any news for me today?
Interesting. This is definitely in line with, like, this is like no friendship level. It makes sense that she's like, I only am around you because you're a very interesting and powerful like person. You're on a list. You're on one of my lists. So I want to keep an eye on you. I want to get any information I can from you. So it's interesting that's like how she starts out her relationship with the traveler.
Exchanging information has to be a two-way thing, so I guess I can tell you something about my past. Thanks to my family's connections, I learned some useful skills from the Millilith Scouts very early on. Although there are things working against you every step of the way when you're gathering intelligence, as long as I keep myself alive, I'll always emerge as the winner in the end.
Okay, so a little more give and take when you get a little higher friendship with her.
Clues are links in a chain. You have to trace them all the way back to where everything began before there can be a resolution. To that end, I need to keep my eyes and ears on every part of society, and often that means having to be more than one person. People sometimes describe me as one person, many faces, and so on. I take it as a compliment.
Okay.
Someone once warned me to be careful about digging up certain things from the past. Dig too deep, and you might find yourself standing in your own grave, they say. Well, I'm not about to stop, least of all because of anything anyone else has to say. Sure, I can't change the facts, but if it's a choice between the cold, hard truth and blissful unawareness, I'll take the former. What about you? Which would you choose?
Interesting. I relate to this. I'd rather know the truth regardless. I being lied to or being unaware of something, I hate that. So I can relate to her on that, but like I'd rather take the cold hard truth than being unaware. I think Lumine would definitely take the truth over being unaware. I think being unaware is one of the things that Lumine actually fears. It's one of her biggest fears. It's one of her main frustrations with her journey is not knowing and being unaware of the full context of the truth or the greater truth. So definitely think Lumine can relate to Yelan on that.
Tell me something. If I'm gonna stay around, what kind of person do you want me to be to you? Someone you work with? A competitor who challenges you to sharpen your game? Just another name on your long list of acquaintances, or somebody more important than that? Depending on what you're hoping for, I can either play that part or become that person.
Okay, so she's phrasing it in a very peculiar way, but I think this is Yelan's version of trying to figure out where she stands with the traveler. She acknowledges Lumine has lots of acquaintances and companions. She acknowledges that they're both determined. So she's kind of pointing out their similarities a little bit. She's offering, like, it's a question. She poses it as a question, but she's offering, can I be somebody more important than what I've just said? And she's like, I can either play that part or actually become that person. So it's a very Yelan way of asking, hey, we're really close, right? It's essentially what this boils down to. Very cool.
In my free time, I live life completely at random. It's quite simple. I make a list of things to do, then I roll the dice to decide which one I'm going to do next. It's a surprisingly fun game, and it's really broadened my mind. In that sense, it's been quite helpful where my job is concerned. My physical fitness isn't actually that great compared with some trained martial artists. It's a hereditary thing that runs in my family. So before getting into really important work, I adjust my schedule to make sure I get enough rest, wait till I've built up enough energy, then strive to finish everything that needs doing in one go. Outside of work, I try my best to live life at a calm and carefree pace, so I'll always decline to take on any strenuous physical labor.
Interesting. She acknowledges her maybe some people could see it as a weakness, I guess, that she's not like as physically fit as some other, people trained in the martial arts. But she's this sounds like a little bit like a procrastination. I save up my energy and then I do all what I need to do in one go. I can relate to that. Outside my work, I try my best to live my life at a calm, carefree place. Hey, good for her.
I like to grind dried Jueyun chilies and violet grass stamens into powder, mix them in with some Yunmai white tea leaves, and then brew a strong pot of tea. It has the most powerful fragrance that makes you instantly fall in love with it. I prefer drinks like this with a long-lasting aftertaste to things like coffee and spirits.
Dang, spicy tea. That is definitely a preference.
You have to be very careful with sweets. That powerful sense of satisfaction, it weakens your willpower, makes you relaxed. It only takes a few bites to get addicted, and with long-term consumption, you'll slowly but surely lose your edge.
Okay. I would disagree with her on this. Listen, I have a huge sweet tooth, but I don't know if it makes me lose my edge in life.
Not bad. Almost good enough to bribe me with. Once you get accustomed to spicy food, everything else tastes bland. It's just the way it is. Shall we roll some dice? Whoever gets the lowest number gets to eat it. If I was to tell you that maybe you shouldn't celebrate too hard today because you'll let your guard down, and someone out there might just be waiting for that moment to make their move on you, it probably wouldn't go down very well. So relax and take it easy today. Oh, and you should stop by the Genshin tea house. I whipped up some treats especially for you. Not sweet ones, of course. Just the tiniest little hint of chili.
Okay. I was like, wait, some treats? I thought she just said she doesn't like sweets, but nope, not sweets. Chili treats, apparently.
In my line of work, combat skills are essential. Sometimes you have to strike hard and fast at just the right moment to expose the lies while avoiding any unwanted interference. Finding the truth might sound simple, but it takes perseverance to stick to the trail of clues, and it takes strength to follow them deep into dangerous territory. I have long regarded you as my most important informant. Naturally, I need to be fully prepared to face whatever risks come with the final answer when you bring it to me. Come on, let's go get it.
Okay. Okay, important informant. All right.
Busted. Gotcha. Quietly now. Game's up. Here comes the catch. Things are about to get dicey. Take it easy. Easy money. Treasure. One way to draw your target out of hiding. A chest full of valuables and a trove of potential clues. What a drag. Winging it wasn't the best idea. I didn't factor this in. Get back. I'll finish this job. You're running cold. Allow me. What are the odds? How was I so wrong? But the truth is still unknown. Gutsy. No.
Just no.
Who's our target this time? It's time to pull the trigger. Let's go get ourselves some answers.
Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oop. And I don't think she has any extra outfits. No. All right. Let's go ahead and look at her teapot stuff and see what she has to say in the teapot.
Oh, look who it is. To what do I owe the honor? Or did you just need my help? Not bad. The courtyard furnishings are very nice, and the scenery in the distance is really one of a kind. So yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy my time off here. In my own home, of course. My home's located some way outside of the city, in a very quiet and peaceful area. Judging by the look on your face, I'm guessing you've fallen for the rumors about me being very wealthy and having high demands for my standards of living. Seeing isn't always believing, and if you can't trust your eyes, you certainly can't trust rumors.
Interesting.
Bingo. I think you got it. Seems like you're learning. If you live far enough out in the sticks, you have plenty of legitimate reasons to ditch work. The mountain path was blocked, or you ran into some treasure hoarders en route.
Not her saying that, oh, you have a lot of good excuses not to come into work when you live far enough.
Not to mention that if you live in a packed and bustling city, it's much easier for people to trace your steps. This creates all kinds of issues and gets in the way of my ability to track my targets. That said, since I'm free to come and go as I please here, it would be a terrible waste for me to not use it as a backup base. You wouldn't mind that, would you?
Okay, so this is level 4 friendship, this next chat.
I would be delighted. We should make some tea, too. Sipping tea, chatting, just enjoying the time off. It's a great way to recharge. Hey, You're friendly with Raincomber, aren't you? I hear she's a tea drinker too. Why don't you treat me to some choice tea from her personal collection?
Don't be mean to Tubby.
I'm just pulling your leg. She let me try some of her tea already, and we had a lovely chat. The key to making sure a conversation goes well is choosing the right topic. For chatting with you, let's go with tracking techniques, ambush essentials, expanding your network of contacts, and setting up lookouts. Well, if you were just looking to shoot the breeze with me, I can get on board with that too. You know me, role-playing's one of my biggest strengths. Seriously though, I think the topics I mentioned are the ones really worth sharing with you. For someone like you, the things I've learned come from a mix of secret techniques taught by the Millilith Scouts, real-life cases of competition in the business world, and the experience of various overseas organizations. For someone like you, this knowledge is going to come in handy sooner or later. Once you've mastered it, you'll be able to avoid being pushed around by those in the know. Anyway, just remember to come to me if you ever want to improve in these areas. I'll teach you everything I know.
Okay. And then the last friendship chat, which is at level 7.
Isn't this your time off? You should do something that isn't too mentally taxing. Oh, I have some dice in my pocket. Why don't we have a little fun? I'll roll the dice, and the score decides who confesses. If I roll a 1, 3, or 5, you have to confess. You have to tell me a secret that no one else can ever be allowed to know. If it's a 2, 4, or 6, then I'll be the one who has to reveal an important secret to you. What do you say? In other words, you still have some reservations towards me. But the good news is, you passed the test. The fact that you'll keep some cards close to your chest, even in front of a major ally, actually makes me more confident in you. Maybe you'll make a successful intelligence agent yourself one day. I'm excited to go up against you. Oh? So you really want to play, despite there being a 50-50 chance of losing? Or is it that you're willing to take a gamble for the sake of finding out my secrets? Interesting. I was gonna pull a little trick, but now even I'm looking forward to this. Then let round 1 begin. Morning. This is early for me, but you seem pretty peppy. You don't seem to have much going on right now, though, so I think I'll go ahead and snooze a while longer. Good night to you, too. I'll keep working for a little while longer. My mind's at peak efficiency at this hour, so it's the perfect time to go through the clues and piece everything together.
Okay. We have special dialogue for the Primo sets.
This food street is great. It really captures that urban feel of Chihu Rock. You've got to have a proper breakfast to get yourself in the right mood for work. Also, if you keep an ear open when you're at one of these roadside eateries, you can usually pick up a few useful snippets of information. This house is similar to a place in southwest Meanleen that I lived in for a while. Meanleen. Now that was a smooth operation. Thinking back on it puts me in a good mood. I should go back and give that place a spring clean sometime. Never know when it might prove useful again.
Okay, cool. Little insight into her places of rest and what kind of means something to her. Alrighty, let's go ahead and chat about her for a little bit. Okay, so there's not a lot of theories that I have for Yelan because I feel like a lot of the theories that that I would have had were answered by the Perilous Trail quest. But one thing I did want to mention that caught my attention is in her character teaser, I believe. There's this moment where she like appears, like almost like she was hidden, like invisible. It felt like her coat was like frosty or like ice or something, and it like unveiled or something like that. And it didn't say anything in her character stories or her lore about that. It said that the coat smells a certain way. but it didn't say anything about like frost powers or something. So I'm wondering if we'll ever learn more about that, and the fact that it was supposed to be the Saristas. I don't know. That's really interesting. So I hope we maybe learn more about that. I don't think there's any more like theories that I have. I just thought that this was like an interesting thing to point out, because it really is. It's so unusual, and we don't have anything else like that in game where you're just like invisible. So yeah, I'd love to know more about that, hopefully in the future, and her relationship with the ninth Fatui Harbinger. Hopefully we have the ability to encounter them soon. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but she does have ties to the Fatui, it seems, not like personal, but she has dealings with them in the past, not just with Child, but it seems deeper than just Child. So in Snezhnaya itself. So it'll be interesting, maybe if we get to Snezhnaya, if we will see that side of her. She did mention at the end of her quest that our paths would likely cross again. So I'm excited to learn more about that. Okay, Miss Yelan. I think she's very cool. I think my opinion of her hasn't changed dramatically from my first impressions I had in the Perilous Trail quest. But it's cool to have gotten extra context and to see her in action some more. And also a lot of her voice lines, they didn't surprise me. I'll just say that. They definitely layered on top of the impression I already had of her. Which is someone who is very mysterious, can be very professional, and feel or seem cold at first, but she's really just kind of looking after her own well-being in that sense. And she does care about the people that she bonds with. And I think that is definitely showcased in the information we got about her past trauma, about losing people in the abyss, her friends. That's why she was so sensitive with Zhao. Although that sensitivity didn't stop her from speaking her mind, which I think is one of her more resilient traits, right? She doesn't allow any worry that she feels or fear she doesn't feel at all to stop her from doing what she needs to do. And I think it's really cool how they're tying it into like her family lineage, and that there's this call in her blood, the howling of all these long dead heroes that just are pushing her to explore, to be adventurous, and to experience things out in the world. It's such a cool idea. And I think that regardless of this lack of fear, she isn't unfeeling. And I think that was made pretty clear. I don't think she's, I don't think she's like a robot where she's empty inside and she only uses her brain. I think she doesn't express her emotional side very often. I think she keeps that pretty tight, those cards pretty tight to her chest, but she does feel, and I think she does truly care about the people that she establishes relations with, like the Traveler. And when you get like higher friendship, she kind of phrases things a little differently. Like she doesn't just say, oh, we're like really close friends, right? Like we're best friends now. She says it in a different way. She kind of phrases it with a little more formality. And she's kind of beating around the bush, talks a little bit in riddles. But you still, I feel like if you understand her character and her personality, you kind of know what she's trying to say. You know what she's trying to tell you. So I think that's sweet, and it's nice that at the core of all this fearlessness, and this fierceness that she has at the core of it, she's still a very warm person, and I think that's what helps balance her out. You know what I mean? And that's what makes her likable, at least to me. I know other people might think her formality is the most likable part, or they like her professionalism, or they like how fierce she is, or uncaring she can come across as, like that's her defense mechanism, right? And I still think those are really cool parts of her character, but for me personally, I'm not talking objectively. Personally, I like to know that no matter how stiff or uncaring a person can seem, if I know at the core of them, in their heart, they're truly a good person, or they care, then I love that. Like squishy on the inside, hard on the outside. Those are always really fun characters. So it's nice to see that kind of archetype on Yelan, and to have that archetype be displayed super well in the narrative. I think it's cool that her and Ningguang had some sort of relationship before Ningguang came into any real power, or any of the power she has today or currently in Teapot. That's really cool. And that the fact that Yelan's like, hey, I mean, I might have a role in getting her to where she is, but I think Ningguang is one of those people. She's like the kind of person that utilizes all her resources, regardless if those resources are people or materials or whatever. Not uses them and discards them, but she definitely utilizes what she has, and she uses what she has to elevate herself, not at the cost of stepping on others, because she did bring Yelan with her, and she still talks with Beidou and has a relationship with Beidou. So it's not that she disregards people, but she definitely uses her assets, and Yelan was definitely an asset to her, and Ningguang recognized that, and used Yelan's talents to her advantage. And Yelan didn't care about that. She was like, I mean, sure, if I contributed to her power, her place that she has right now, then that's whatever, you know. I'm respected still. I'm given a job that I enjoy, and I'm allowed to kind of experience and venture and seek out the thrills that I want. I have the freedom to do that, so I don't care. Which is cool. I think we will definitely see more of Yelan in the future, especially since she has this lead, I think, is what what was being alluded to at the end of her quest with the Ninth Harbinger, and she is using the dude who we recently put in jail. I think she's going to use him as some sort of lead, or exploit him in some way to get more information about this Ninth Harbinger, and to see if she can counterattack and move in on the Fatui maybe, or get insights on their inner workings, like they were trying to do by having, you know, a horse in the race for the new political position that opened up. Obviously, it was because Uncle Tien was being poisoned, which is awful. But I think the story behind that whole thing with the relationship and the mentor, and it's sad because it seemed it was implied that it was like a misunderstanding, that he, because of how he grew up and because how he's always been treated, he heard like one or two sentences out of context and like hyper fixated on that, and from then on was like super guarded. And I can't even say I blame him for that, because from what we heard he'd been through a lot. And even when you have somebody who opens up to you and is sincere with you, when you've been through things, it's really hard to let go of old habits. And I'm not saying he was in the right, or I'm not saying he was justified in poisoning that sweet old man. I'm not saying that at all, but I think it's a good demonstration of how complex people's pain is, and how it can affect others, not just themselves. And I feel like Yelan is a good counterbalance, because she's been through things. Like, she had a very, you know, traumatic experience that changed her and that pushed her to almost demand a vision from the heavens. You know, it was big enough for her to push herself to do something like that. So she definitely went through something that was very painful as well, but she used her pain as a vessel to improve herself and to help others, while in comparison, that dude was like, you know what, I've been through a lot, my pain is the only thing that's real, and fear guided him to harm others and improve himself by harming others rather than helping others. So I think it's a good parallel there, that even though Yelan and him aren't like exactly the same characters, you definitely saw that parallel journey in terms of their character arcs, which was cool. It was nice. It was subtle, but it was still nice, because we learn about Yelan's trauma really in her like character lines or character stories and her voice lines, so we don't really get much of that in her actual quest, so you kind of don't really understand that parallel unless you like look into her a little deeper. So but I think that is in line with Yelan as a character, honestly. Like, you gotta invest your emotional time and energy into her and earn her trust before you're allowed to know any real things about her. And even so, like, her voice lines is what the Traveler canonically is told by Yelan, right? She doesn't tell the Traveler like everything. Us as the player with her character stories, like, we know the full context, but even so, like, even at high friendship levels, Yelan still holds back the most painful parts of herself from the Traveler. She opens up for sure, but there's still like that bit of her that still hesitates, not out of fear, I don't think, but just it's like a defense mechanism. It's something she always employs with everybody. And she even had that comment, I think it was in the Teapot dialogue, where she was saying like, oh, I want to test you with some dice or something like that. And the Traveler, one of the responses the Traveler can say is, I don't know, that's kind of risky. And Yelan actually praises the Traveler for being hesitant with her, even though they have really high friendship level, or like they were really close, because that conversation was, I think, friendship level 7, I believe. So it was the highest friendship level conversation you can get with her. And she even then was praising the Traveler for being cautious when it comes to her. Even a friend, even a trusted companion, she's like, even so, you still employed caution, and I respect that. So it kind of shows you what she values in a person, or in herself and others, I should say. I think moving forward, like I said, we're definitely going to see her. I don't know if we're going to have to wait all the way till Snezhnaya. I guess it depends on when HOYO-verse wants to introduce the 9th Harbinger into the main arc. Maybe in Sumeru? I don't know. I definitely think that we're probably going to see more of the Harbingers in Sumeru, but I don't know which of the Harbingers that will be. I wonder if Yelan will have any say or interest, or maybe I should say role, in those plot lines, but we shall see. We shall see. It's still amazing to me that she like stole this special fur coat from the Sarista. Obviously, she didn't steal it out from the Sarista's hands specifically, but she stole it while it was en route to the Sarista. Again, I'm just gonna bring up quickly that it, like, she can go invisible with it. Like, what was that about? There was like a frost effect in that teaser trailer where I assume it was the coat. I assume, because Yelan doesn't have a cryovision, it's hydro, and the way that it was animated made it feel like it was frosty. So I don't know, very interesting, super cool. Can't wait to learn more about that in the future. I think Yelan's a fantastic character. She's got a lot of depth to her. She's super fun. I loved all the like smooth jazz, almost like the old time like 1950s detective vibes. We have like the stage lights, and then you have the neon current lights, and just very fun overall aesthetic. So I can see why she's a fan favorite. I don't have much to comment meta wise, but I'm sure she's very similar to Singcho, and from the little I know of the meta, I know Singcho is a very solid pick when it comes to Abyss, I think. So I can see maybe she is a strong unit, which makes sense considering who she is as a person. So I really like that she like goes invisible, and she like can weave around enemies and stuff. That's super fun. But anyway, I think she's cool. I'd love to see more of her in the future. We definitely haven't seen the last of her yet, and I am excited when that day does finally come. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you did, as always, I very much appreciate you spending your time with me. This was fun. This was super fun. Next week is going to start the very beginning of our watch-throughs for the past events. So these videos are going to be essentially me commentating over a YouTube video playthrough of someone else's like event, and I want to go through all the major events all the way starting from Unreconciled Stars all the way up to current times, because there is really so much lore and so much depth to a lot of characters, like Albedo specifically, and others that we don't see much of in the main story, if at all, in main quests or story quests. So it'll be nice to finally be introduced to those characters and gather genuine lore, genuine character building for those characters, as well as I've heard there's lots of lore as well in these events, and characters that aren't playable that are really important to the story. So I can't wait to meet those characters as well. I've heard a lot about it, and I'm very excited to share those reactions with you. Definitely excited to get into that. And then after we finish those, I'll be doing Hu Tao's quest, because I waited to do Hu Tao's quest after the events because we did not encounter Hu Tao at all in the main story. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let the events introduce me to her, and then we'll do her quest afterwards, so we're not going in blind with her. And then after Hu Tao, like I said, you can check on Discord. I have my schedule posted of like the order in which I'll be posting stuff. But after Hu Tao, we're just gonna quickly get through the last summer's Golden Galapagos Island event, quickly do Hidden Strife, and then we're going into Sumeru. We'll probably be getting into Sumeru right around when Fontaine comes out now, like currently. So I'm sorry it's taken so long. I'm like an update behind, but I had like 2 or 3 years of content to catch up on. So I'm glad we're finally getting into Sumeru, which is like semi current content. There's so much in Sumeru to explore and to share in terms of experiences and characters, so very excited to do that. All links are down below. I usually stream every Friday. Sometimes that changes depending on if I'm editing, or sometimes I stream on a different day, like Saturday, but it's usually the weekend, the end of the week. So if I don't catch you live, then I will catch you in the next one.